Ahem. What a flippity flop though. This is Stranger or Big Moose, and we're here with Faultarian Journal, the Britik stream. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in. Guys, I just got to do a little quick promotion first. The Fault Hub Network is doing a giveaway for 2 PC Master Packs on Steam. If you would like to join that giveaway, we'll have the link in the chat there, and that'll take you the directions to get there. So everyone that we have as a guest today, could you please introduce yourselves?
Yo, it's me, not a guest. It's your boy, EssayRead, the best grunt main you'll ever see, boy. And we got 2 guests in here today.
I was giving Britik the honor of going first.
I thought we were doing the whole best for last thing, but
you're right. That's my bad.
I just want to say, what was that intro, stranger? What the hell?
I'm gonna do that for a while.
Well, anyway, hello everyone. My name is Britik, your friend, of course, as the old intro goes. I'm just happy to be here. Let's talk some Fault.
Like Britik said, best for last. I'm Norweginator. I'm back.
Awesome.
That's crazy.
And I just got to turn up my mic because last time I had my mic up too high when I was doing my intro, and it was ear bleeding, so I had to turn it down for the intro. And now it's back up. So guys, as you guys can see, we got to separate into 3 acts as always. So we got Act 1, we got the intro of Britik. We get to learn him a bit better. Act 2, we just got some Fault talk, and Act 3, we got a bit of content creation is what we're calling it. And you can see it's broken down into more topics. We got Britik's story, why did he choose Paragon to play, why Fault, of course, and then in Act 2, we got emotes, funding, PS partner, and in Act 3, we got expectations, a good ramble, just us talking, and then EA soon or soon TM. And we also have a few extra topics if we do get time. So, while we're doing that, Britik, tell me your story, starting with everything you were telling us before this started. Because as some of you may know or may not, Britik also speaks Russian, or you are Russian. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, it all started in 1996. It was a children's hospital, San Francisco. Long story short, I'm here, and basically, yes, I do speak Russian. My dad's from Moscow, my mom's from Ukraine, but I was born in San Francisco, California. So I am American with Jewish roots that can also speak Russian.
Awesome.
So I guess we could just start with the relevant part. Basically, when I began YouTube, I was a junior in high school. I was in 11th grade. I was 16 years old. Okay. And I began by making YouTube videos on Call of Duty. We were talking a little bit about Call of Duty. I used to play semi-professionally. I was pretty good. I would win some cash prizes on online GB tournaments and stuff. So just made a lot of guides, basically. This was around Black Ops 2, so I made some guides for League of Play. I was watching people like T. Martin, Ali A, Nade Shot, stuff like that. So that's what got me into it. I was inspired by those guys. So I got an Elgato, and I had this really janky setup with PS3 and a TV and an Elgato. That's about it. I didn't even have a computer. I had like a little laptop, and I hooked that laptop up, and I just started YouTubing from there.
Awesome. So what was your first ever video on YouTube?
My first ever video on YouTube, which is still up at this day, December 31st, 2012. It was me showing a gameplay of Black Ops 2 as a pub match on the map Aftermath. And I didn't get a nuclear medal, which was 30 kills without dying, but I did get a brutal medal, which was 25 kills without dying. And it was like a 50-1 or a 50-2 gameplay or something. And I uploaded that, and it was like, I think it was just the gameplay video. I just kind of talked about how I got there, how I got to those kills. I didn't really talk about like any tips or tricks or anything. I just, hey, this is the gameplay. This is what I did kind of thing.
Awesome. So what you're telling me is that if we were to go back on any Rust map on Rust in 1v1, I would lose.
I would absolutely destroy you, probably to this day. And I haven't played Call of Duty competitively since Advanced Warfare.
Wow, long time. So, what brought you to Paragon? How did you discover Paragon?
So after I stopped playing Call of Duty, I got really interested into Counter-Strike for a little bit, and I was watching a streamer play Counter-Strike, and one day he was streaming Paragon. This was Josh OG, very famous streamer. He's recently got re-signed with Twitch. So he was playing Paragon, some sort of sponsored stream, and I'm like, whoa, this game is sick. I need to play this game. I want to know more about this game.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was so cool. It was just so pretty. It looked crazy, action packed, and I didn't even realize it was a MOBA until I started playing it because it just didn't look like a traditional MOBA. And I did play a little bit of League of Legends prior to this, but only like for a month or so. So it's not like I was a MOBA guru or anything going into it. I just saw it and I was like, "Yo, this is sick." So I downloaded it on my PlayStation, and I got the $20 Founders Pack, and I went in, and yeah, just the rest is history.
Awesome. So, what's a good way to put this? How did you get known in the Paragon community? Like, how did you get known on YouTube? How do you get known in Paragon? Like, why is it that to this day, whenever you talk about Fault, Britik's name is pretty close down the line in the conversation?
I mean, you could say I'm the most popular name in Paragon. It's okay. I won't be offended. No.
What's that myth
I'm
guy's name?
just kidding. Yeah. So basically, the way I got into it was as soon as I started playing, literally the first week, or I guess the week after, I made my first guide. I made my tips and tricks video on Gideon, and I made a video for builds. And I just kind of kept doing that for every character. I made a basically how to play this for dummies guide and what build to start off, what's a good general build for starters for every character. And then obviously if you just one trick the character, you would eventually find out the best min-max build, etc. But that wasn't up to me anymore. I was just basically like trying to help you out for starters, try to get your foot in the door. So I was making these guides, and at the time it was like this was so early. This was again like basically the first week of Paragon, March 2016. It was just me, and I also did gameplay videos. It was just me. It was Nabori, and it was RGS Ace. Like those were the first three, and obviously all the three of those names people recognize. Like those are the three YouTubers that were really like making videos consistently for Paragon at the time. Nabori was mostly doing gameplay videos. I was mostly doing tips and tricks videos. RGS Ace was also doing tips and tricks stuff, but he also had a very successful thing where he had like a top 5 plays thing that community members could submit their clips to, and he got a lot of traction off that as well. Also, fun fact, RGS Ace was the first out of us 3 to technically upload a Paragon video. He knew about it before I did. He uploaded a video in 2000, I think it was late 2015 or early 2016, and that video has like 600 something thousand views. It was like the Paragon alpha footage or something. That's all it was titled. It was just some gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember RGS Ace. I remember watching some of his videos back in Legacy. And he was pretty cool. And also, of course, I remember watching you, Britik. I watched you a lot. Who doesn't watch Britik, you know? I think so. When I started playing Paragon in particular, it's because of EssayRead here, one of the co-hosts of the journals. And I remember like sucking because I've never played a MOBA before in my life. And I remember actually going back and watching your guide videos on Murdoch because I was playing Murdoch at the time. And I still did awful, but it at least helped me out, you know, to a certain extent.
You'd never really played MOBAs before at that time though, right? So I mean, definitely having a few good big names putting out content was super helpful, especially for a player like you that had a bit more of like a shooter background. And because I know for me in specific, when I discovered Paragon, he's not here right now, but like I watched Nabori's videos all the time. Like they were the only thing I watched, and it really helped me learn how to play a MOBA and what I should be trying to do. So I feel like having those content creators making those kind of videos is like a really big deal, and kind of like priceless for a game like this.
Yeah, and I agree. I was on such a hardcore YouTube grind that like I noticed that other people were making videos besides me, but I never really watched them. All the info, especially like in the first month or two, was just me learning the game on my own. And like I said, I had like a month worth of league experience prior. So I knew what a jungle was. I knew how to rotate. I knew what wards were. Like I already had like this basic MOBA understanding of where to group up and stuff like that.
Wait, you only had a month in League?
Yeah, I only had a month, and none of that was ranked either. I was just playing pubs with my friends and stuff. So
that's impressive because you caught on fast.
Yeah, I took the information from the MOBA stuff that I had, and then I took as you said, I came from a shooter background, and it was on PlayStation on PS4, so I was so used to a controller already. Like I didn't really miss at that time. Like actually, it was funny. Like I switched over to mouse and keyboard, my aim got severely worse, which is why I just stuck to playing melee characters after that. But I was very good at playing carry when I was still like on controller because of all that shooter experience, and I knew how to lead my shots and everything. So I had the mechanical stuff down. I had already a pretty decent foundation with League, and so I kind of combined the two and used that information, that knowledge that I had when I was making my guides, and I think that really helped me get a head start.
Yeah, 100%. That was like the one thing that was a good redeeming quality about Paragon, is that even though I didn't understand how to play the game, as long as I could shoot straight, I was at least half decent for someone that was so new myself, and really does. Yeah, I don't know. I love the fact that there's like an FPS or third person shooter aspect to this MOBA. In fact, I probably wouldn't have played it anywhere near as much as I did if it didn't have that. But it was also at the time when Call of Duty Infinite Warfare came out, and I hated that video game because I also came from Call of Duty as well. And so I wouldn't play it. I played Call of Duty MWR, Modern Warfare Remastered, and then I don't think I ever touched Infinite W or IW until maybe the last 2 weeks of the game.
Yeah, well, I think that's the best thing Paragon had going for it, though, because it's almost in a similar boat. Because I just recently tried League, can't do it. My brain literally can't comprehend how to move an attack with a top-down camera.
Mm-hmm.
But with a third-person camera like this, it's pretty standard. You just kind of aim and shoot. It's pretty easy to pick up. There's a lot deeper MOBA mechanics, but as for the mechanical part of it, I feel like it's really easy to pick up compared to other MOBAs.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, Britik, when you got that announcement that one day about Paragon that it was closing down, how did you feel at that time?
Okay, well, let me go lie down on the couch real quick.
Tell us your feelings.
I mean, it's all in video format, really. The
How did it
video's
make
still
you
up.
feel?
Like if you go and watch the video, you can get my most honest, raw reaction to it. But
that was sad to watch, man.
It was sad. I mean, I didn't cry, but it was sad to watch.
Yeah. It became more real. I feel like watching those videos of you and Sylphin, and all of a sudden it just like hit. I'm like, oh shit, this is actually just gone. All of this is gone.
Yeah, I was more angry than sad at the moment in time because that's just my default emotion. Like angry Russian dad and all that. So
of course,
I obviously, I think I expressed my feelings well enough in the video. But for those who didn't watch the video, it was just frustrating, man. It's like the same feeling you get when you're in a 2-year long relationship. You think everything's gonna go great. You're gonna, it's the love of your life. You're gonna get married to this person, whatever, and then they just disappear. And almost maybe they even cheat on you because you can take that and equate it to Fortnite coming out, and then like Epic.
Wow,
Games Fortnite. So like,
you really got on the couch.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like how my mental went, right? And I know a lot of people felt that way too, where it's like either losing a loved one or being betrayed by something that they put so much effort and faith and time into, and stuff like that. I mean, for all the people that were upset when Paragon died, content creators, you have to understand, content creators got hit the hardest because you had people. I'm not gonna name any names, but maybe you know this, maybe not. You had streamers dropping out of university, out of college, because they were going to go full time in Paragon. They were going to stream and compete in tournaments and stuff full time.
Yeah,
in
pro
Paragon.
players as well.
Their whole lives changed when Paragon came around, and they changed their whole lives around Paragon because they thought, oh, it's Epic Games, solid company, like, you know, this ain't going anywhere. This is the future of MOBAs. This looks like a good investment. Blah 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 blah. And then, and like what seemed to be like, we knew, like, you know, Epic had their head up their ass, but what seemed to be something that was going to stay a while anyways, even though Epic was kind of botching it. And then out of the blue, January, they announced that, oh, yeah, you have 3 months to live, basically. So that, I mean, imagine how those people felt, right? Like, that was crazy. Thankfully, I kept going to college, kept my schooling going. Didn't take that plunge, and I also wasn't in a situation where that risk made sense to me anyway. Like, I like risk, but I'm also pretty risk averse. Like, I'm not just gonna full send it and yeet it off the cliff, but if there is
risks,
like, yeah, it's like a 70-30 kind of thing for me, right? So if I was in the situation, I didn't really stream much back when Paragon was still around. Like, if I streamed more, I think I would be affected even more by it, because that probably would have been the most successful my stream's ever been. I streamed a couple times, and when I did stream a couple times, I hit like ridiculous peak viewers, especially like when version 42 came out. That was insane, like actually insane. But I think I would have gotten hit even harder if I was consistently streaming it and realized that, hey, like, I could, you know, make a living off this, and I'm just gonna throw everything away and focus on this. And I'm kind of glad I didn't at this point in time, but I also wish that just Paragon didn't die in the first place, and a lot of those opportunities didn't go to waste. So yeah, people whose livelihood depended on it got hit the worst, hit the most.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone can confirm this.
Basically.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone can confirm this, but I heard talks that there were pro players, like you said, that were dropping out of college, but they did so because, like, a month or two before they announced the closure, they actually had talks with people at Epic that told them, yeah, go for it, man. This is going to be awesome. We're going to keep growing the esports scene. I think it's a good idea. Because even they weren't aware. And then 2 months later, just, bam, shut down.
Yeah.
Huge life mistakes for several people.
I wouldn't doubt if that actually happened. And again, it was just the upper ups at Epic that made the call. So like you said, like, the developers themselves also got hit really hard, because they're like, what the heck?
Oh,
like,
I can imagine.
All this time working on this. We told everyone how great it was going to be, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, game's dead, and 90% of those people have to get laid off because the other 10 are going to go to Fortnite. So it's like,
and they also got the worst of the hate too. Like, they're the ones being shit on by the whole community for I think, like, during the beginning, before people had a grasp of what actually happened. It was just so much hate towards the developers, and I can imagine that they were so sad, because I'm sure they all had, you know, a passion and a vision for it all, and they kept getting pushed by suits to do this and that, and then just all of a sudden cut off.
Yeah. See, I didn't even play so when version 42 came out, that's like, for me, when the game started to really go downhill. When version 42 came out, I literally hated it. Like, I hated the changes they made. Besides, like, the graphics update, of course, I like that. But the gameplay updates I did not enjoy at all. And I remember I played the game 2 days, and just so happened that that's when EssayRead and GottaGetSwole just happened to come visit me in Newfoundland, in Canada. And I was planning on playing it every day. Like, I was playing 12, 14 hours a day. And I just stopped playing.
I brought all my gear with me on the plane, and, you know, Swole brought all his stuff. We were all set up in Stranger's room. We were pumped. Oh man, the new update is
wow,
sick. We downloaded it, and I just, to this day, just still remember asking strangers, so what do you think? And all you hear is, it's all right, I guess.
Dude, that's some unfortunate timing. You really set the scene for that.
I did not play the game once it hit version 43. Like, I did not play.
We did other stuff all week.
I stopped playing the game. So
I I kept trying to lie to myself, honestly. Like, I kept going like, well, you know, they can change it. It's new. They have to tweak some things, and it just kept getting worse and worse. And it just reached a point where I'm like, you know what? I can't keep lying to myself. It's over.
Yeah, because I think for me at least, and I feel like maybe some people would agree with this. It just really seemed like the beginning of, oh wait, maybe they don't really care about community feedback at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there was
No, they started blatantly ignoring it. They would literally get on stream and go like, "Hey, we heard you guys said this. Not true. Sorry. GG."
Well,
I
how?
was very adamant
Yeah.
about how bad towers were. I made like 3 to 4 videos about it.
Yeah.
And towers never got changed, and it baffles me to this day because they had the right formula back on Legacy. The towers would actually scale. Like, the longer you'd stay in the tower radius, the more damage they would do per shot, which is how it should be. That's how it is in League, at least. I know that.
Yeah, I remember tower diving was only for like mid to late game, and it was still risky then.
Oh yeah, and then Monolith came around and they changed the towers to hit like noodles, and they never changed it back, and I never really understood why.
No one liked it. I didn't hear a single person argue, no, it's actually a good thing. I never once saw that. It was unanimous, or pretty much unanimous. Everyone was in the same boat saying, why the hell don't towers do anything? And months went by without anything changing.
Yeah. I remember going on on Paragon.com and going into the forums there, and I used to write these huge paragraphs about all these issues I had with some characters or something. And I remember mentioning something about towers because everyone else was. And I remember I had this one specific post, and it was right after the first week that Aurora got released. It was like that same week, and I made this huge post about just how broken she was, and it got like super liked and lots of comments on it. And then it ended up actually being talked about in a community stream. Not exactly my post, but about Aurora. And I remember hearing Cam Winston talk about like how he thought Aurora was in a good place. And and we're talking like first week Aurora. We're not talking like after patch Aurora, right?
Yeah. At some point, I wonder where the disconnect was. Because I'm sure that there were developers that disagreed with their direction was going, but they were told to do certain things, or like I just wonder where the disconnect was. What was the community managers being told? What were the devs aware of? How much control did the suits at the top have of balance? I'm just wondering, like, what happened where it was just so disconnected between community feedback and what they were saying on those streams.
I have a theory, and it's 5 letters. I'm gonna spell it out for you. M O N E Y. That's where the disconnect was.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere completely different after that E. No, you're not wrong. It very well could be a big part of it.
It seemed like on the one hand you had like the nerd at the lunch table being like, man, I got this great sci-fi idea and it's gonna be better than everything else because it's gonna be something fresh. And then you got the one guy being like, okay, but like how much money?
The Chad in the suit.
The Chad in the suit was like, all right, I'll fund your fun little game.
But we also have to remember, right? Like, this is when Epic was going through like super big changes. Like 40% of the board of directors at Epic Games just completely switched over to Tencent, right? And all this stuff. So, yeah, they probably had a lot going on. And they also had Fortnite. And I remember playing Fortnite the first week it came out. And
I remember that too. Like, no one was talking about it. It wasn't popular. It was just, I think it was just like a crossover. Like, hey, Paragon fans, here's this game.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing.
Game mode, which was actually really fun for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
there was no battle royale in the beginning, right? It was just some little
world.
It's kind of cute.
I just wanted to say this. I think the reason Fortnite got as big as it did is because of Ninja, who is a Halo professional player for years, and he wasn't like a top pro, but he was still a pro in the game. And then he came over to Fortnite, and I think it's because of him that the game got really big. And
what I'll say something unpopular here that a lot of Paragon fans might hate. I don't like Fortnite, but I think it deserves the love that it got. I can imagine being a kid and like everybody playing one game and you're all talking about a school and everything. That must be awesome for kids, right? Mm-hmm. And it was a good game. I not my cup of tea, but I get it.
I want to double back on the Ninja thing. It's not that simple. I've been following Ninja since Halo as well, but he went from Halo to Destiny and then to H1Z1, and it's really like because he went to H1Z1, that's when he switched over to Fortnite. He already grew an audience on H1Z1 because it's in the same battle royale genre. Yeah. So he switched over to Fortnite, and he already had like a big boost there. Plus, he was already kind of nuts at these games because he had so much experience with it, and he had fantastic aim because, like you said, he was a Halo pro. And back in the day, that game took the most aim when it came to first-person shooters because you basically had to hit 5 headshots in a row at a competitive level.
Yeah,
and it is huge, and so that's what sparked it. And then he went in and he streamed every day. He grinded his ass off, and I think people really don't give him enough credit. Like, it's easy to hate on him because he's number one or whatever, but he really did do a lot. Like, in his career, he's been streaming and gaming for over 10 years until Fortnite came out, and then he went on to do that and got big off of it. And good for him. I'm actually a fan of Ninjas for sure. Like, as much as you love to meme the guy.
He worked, man. He worked hard.
You definitely can't knock him for his success that he created.
Yeah. Can I just respond to Jaffa Man? They said they didn't promote Paragon as much as Fortnite. And I'll answer with this. I'm pretty sure that Strange Matter Studios have promoted Fault more than Epic ever promoted Paragon. Their marketing was zero. It did nothing for Paragon.
Yeah, but see, I see what you're saying, and I do agree. I think the best way to promote a game, even in Paragon days, is if a big streamer likes the game. So remember when, I don't know if anyone knew this, but Tyler 1 played Paragon, and he actually streamed it.
Remember it, yep.
Yeah, but he hated it. And so he never played it again. But imagine if he loved the game. He would have brought an audience of another 30,000 people to the game. You know what I mean? Just on his own. On the first
streamers are a big part of it, but there's also traditional marketing, which is also very important. And Epic didn't do that either.
Tyler 1, Jaffa Man. Tyler 1 is a League of Legends streamer. He loves League of Legends. That's literally all he streams all day, every day. So he does like MOBAs.
Yeah, he's a big League of Legends guy. Yeah, so that's what I think. I think with Britik, for example, you coming on and transitioning into Fault and still being a part of the Paragon remake process and bringing the game, I think it is people like you that have an audience. They're going to be the reason the game has success. Well, of course, it has to be a good game, of course. So you can't. Strange Matter Studios.
I wouldn't say only reason.
Oh, not only reason, of course.
99%.
It's the best 99%. Marketing, in my opinion, that in 2020 is when big content creators promote your game.
Yeah, I will say I owe you some thanks, Britik. I wouldn't know about Fault if it wasn't for you, and I'm sure there's several other people in chat here that can say the same thing. I owe my thanks for that.
You're welcome. But I would like to share an equation for that, because you mentioned, marketing, of course. Like, that's the number one way you market nowadays is just through Twitch, through streams, through YouTube, and because it's so easy. It's the internet. Everyone has access to the internet, and it's free. Like, you don't have to watch a specific channel and have an ad run on that TV channel, TV network, whatever, for people to see it. But basically, with the equation that I'm referring to is, obviously you need to have a good game. Yeah. That just is pretty much bug free. It works like it's supposed to. It has a solid gameplay loop. It has replayability. That's crucial. Basically, like, is it replayable? How fast is it going to get stale? How fast is it going to quote unquote die, et cetera, et cetera? Because especially nowadays, gamers' attention spans are like close to nothing because there's just so many video games on the market. They can play whatever they want. Plus, you have subscription-based services like Xbox Game Pass where you can get all these games for like a very small amount a month, and you just jump around and play whatever. It's really hard to get hooked on a game and just basically solely play that game over everything else for days and months and years to come. Basically, like that's kind of the league philosophy there, and it depends on whatever game you're talking about, what their longevity equation is going to be. A lot of games nowadays are trying to become competitive esport games, and that's their process of being a game that lasts for a really long time. Like Overwatch, for example. The gameplay loop is very repetitive, monotonous, but because of the hardcore ranked mode and the hardcore esports scene around it, people play it a lot. I mean, lately it's gotten worse, but that's a whole nother conversation. That's just an example. So like for MOBAs, the game is repetitive, right? It's the same map every time, same objectives, same everything, but what changes is the heroes that you play as. It's the metas. It's the people you play with. You play with friends. You're shooting the shit and having a good time and just enjoying yourselves. You could just play it for hours and hours and hours. And because every game does feel different, because there's different characters and different builds that you go with, that's different enough to create that variation where you could just play and play. And then, of course, one of the big things that Paragon was missing was a ranked mode. And I think if you have a solid ranked mode, if you have a reason for people to grind on top of being a good, fun game, but also having a reason to grind, having a reason for people to come back every day, play more and more, that includes like daily challenges, weekly challenges, battle passes in ranked mode, that's going to cover basically every audience. And if the game's functioning, there aren't any bugs, then that's going to be a very, very solid game. And especially if the meta is somewhat interesting, if there's a little bit of decent balance, like you can't just have 5 heroes be the most OP and then you just see those over and over and over and over and over again in ranked. You need to have some diversity in the composition, sure. But if you take all that together, I mean, even if you look at Valorant, it's a fun game, it's a great game, it's very competitive, but because there's no ranked mode in it right now, people are getting really bored of it really quick if they're not finding ways to keep themselves busy, to keep themselves entertained. Like ranked mode is super duper important. So a lot of games take that avenue. And I think if Fault takes that avenue, plus with, marketing from streamers, plus with pushing from the game developers, being open community and open feedback, you got yourself a really good equation. And there was ranked in the beta, but on full release of Valorant, there is no ranked. And I still think there is no ranked at this moment in time unless they just added in this week.
In Valorant?
Yeah, Valorant, yeah.
So, Britik, take us through your journey from the end of Paragon to the beginning of Fault. Well, what was it like during the Dark Ages?
So, after Paragon's death, I obviously it was hard. I think I stepped away for a little bit, not right after, but I tried my best to keep going for a little while and then stepped away again. It was really hard. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do because after putting in all that effort for 2 years straight, putting in all that work to build a community and to just kind of create something of myself on YouTube, like that game really helped me a lot in my YouTube career. And it was just really, really, devastating, as you can imagine. It was like everything I worked for just blown to dust, basically. So it was really hard. I really had to think about what I wanted to do next. And in the meantime, I was still in school and I still needed a hobby and I didn't really know what else to do. Like I picked up some other stuff, but I still really enjoyed making YouTube videos and I still wanted to make YouTube videos. But I also wanted to try and keep my channel on track and try to keep that community together. So I basically just kept going and I talked about Paragon related topics. And then I ended up finding out that there were some next up and coming post Paragon projects in the works. Mm-hmm. And I got involved and I got in touch. And the first people that I got in touch with were Visionary Games. Excuse me. And these guys were making Project Phoenix Rising, which didn't have anything to do with Paragon, but it was a third-person MOBA, and it was a new project coming out. And I didn't really enjoy Smite. Like, I tried Smite. I tried it. I really did try to enjoy it. I just didn't like it. Just something didn't click with me, and I couldn't play it. And I went on to kind of start covering Visionary Games and seeing what they were doing and seeing what progress they're making. And I basically just started reporting the news on them because they would feed me the news. They didn't really have much of a presence online on social media, but I already kind of did because of that Paragon community. And I still needed content for my YouTube videos. And so I just started making that. And then another one would come about, like Core, for example, or Predecessor, and I would start covering news for that. And it came to the point where there were like 2 to 3 developers working on games at the same time. So there was like a constant stream of news. Like if one developer wasn't saying something, then another one was, or there was something to talk about somewhere, or there were some discussion pieces. And I basically went from doing tips and tricks and guides to becoming a news outlet, essentially, because not everyone was in these Discords. Not everyone was watching the developer streams. Not everybody was keeping up every single week like I was. They just kind of moved on with their regular lives. And I still get people to this day that come into my streams and they're like, what's this? What's Fault? You know, is Paragon back? What is this? Like they 2 years later, because I've been doing this ever since Paragon shut down. So I've been doing this for 2 years. Wow. And still get people to this day that have no idea what's going on. Like, wow, I'm late to the party. But yeah, there was a lot going on. And so I just kind of kept doing that. And now we're here waiting for Fault to be released. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I do have a lot of faith in the Strange Matter Studios, and I do believe that they can make a really good product in time for early access, and then build it off that and make it even better over time. And I believe if the community is patient enough, it could really see it flourish into something incredible. And I do see a lot of potential in that. So that hopefully that comes out soon, and I'll be able to stream that every day and continue making videos on that.
And as a fan, I just wanted to say there, Britik, like, thank you for that. Like, no, like, let's say there was 100 content creators for Paragon, 98 of them left after it died, which makes sense. And then there was you and Mongoose, essentially, that kept doing other stuff. And if it wasn't for you two, I'm sure there's many people that would have never heard about Fault and all these other Paragon remakes. I just want to thank you for sticking through the tough times, I guess. Because the first video I remember watching by you after Paragon died was the video that said, I discovered why, I don't know, some clickbaity title. And it said, I discovered why Paragon actually died.
Yeah, the Paragon death finally revealed, something like that, the truth.
Yeah. And I remember watching that, and I remember looking through the comments, and then that's where I actually saw stuff like, because I heard about Phoenix Rising before that also, so I did know there was companies trying to do it. But then I remember seeing in the comment section, like, people were like, oh yeah, Fault, oh yeah, Core, and I was like, whoa, what's this stuff? And then I started checking it out and everything. And
yeah, honestly, I should have just jumped ship to Fortnite when Myth did, so I could be as big as him right now.
But that's okay, because you know what? If Fault is successful, you're going to be bigger than Myth.
Dude, amen to that. Dude, it's going to happen. You got a dream, man. You got a dream, buddy. It's going to happen.
If I get Myth involved in Fault and I get to play with him, then maybe.
Yeah.
No, man. Give it like.
I don't know if I could get. I think you guys underestimate how big of a phenomenon Fortnite was.
No. Give it a few months, and we'll have like 3 billion people playing.
Oh my
Fault.
goodness! Yeah, we're gonna have everyone from the age of 1 to the age of 40 playing the game.
At least 40. They're all gonna be here.
Yeah. I don't need to be as big as Myth. I'll be okay with maybe like 1,000 viewers. That'd be cool.
Holy shit!
Maybe I see your YouTube still going strong with the lack of Paragon content over the past couple of years. You're still pulling in 10K views of it for a video.
I mean,
yeah, I pull in a strong 30 views on my videos, so I'd say that's pretty good.
Dude, you're on your way. You're on your way to Britik status.
I'm almost there.
That's how it starts, man. Everyone starts
and
from the beginning.
On that note, I do make a lot of jokes about being cocky or whatever, but I am very thankful for the support. I didn't know how the community would react. I didn't know how many people would stick around. And when I stepped away, because I did take like a month-long break where I said I'm done with YouTube, like just entirely. Like, and I stepped away and I came back, and I'm actually surprised at how many people were happy that I was back. There were some people that were making memes about it, and to this day, weirdly, but to this day, there are still some comments on my videos where like, I thought you quit YouTube, which is weird because it's been like a year now since that happened. Yeah, I made like a couple of weird skits that I still have downloaded. I put one of them on TikTok. Yep, I made a TikTok. Sue me.
Ooh,
And
cringe.
Cringe. Yeah, I just definitely had like a midlife crisis kind of thing. It was crazy. I don't man, but the one thing that I am very proud of to this day is that through it all, no matter what I did, no matter how many clickbaity videos I made or whatever, and that's going to keep happening. I'm sorry. That's just YouTube in 2020. You can't escape it anymore.
You know what,
sorry,
man?
guys.
There's no that's what you got to do, man.
But through and through, I'm very proud of myself that I've remained transparent. I've remained honest. I've remained myself. And it's been working so far. I've been getting deals, been getting sponsorships, more and more opportunities lately. My cat's here; he agrees with me. Just life's looking up, and hopefully Fault comes around and we get to see what things look like when we're in full locomotion, when we're going downhill on the roller coaster. Because right now it's that steady climb. You're waiting with bated breath. Yeah. You're waiting for that drop. You're climbing up and up and up, and you could see like the whole amusement park, and you see like your parents waiting because they're too scared to go on the ride with you, and you're just going up and up and up, and everyone's watching. Everyone sees you on top. And when Fault launches, dude, that's when the drop's gonna be. Are we gonna hang on and have a good ride, or are we gonna like fall off and fly off the roller coaster like in Roller Coaster Tycoon, where you could just send out a half-built roller coaster and then send people to their deaths?
Well, I know you've probably already done this 1,000 times for your videos and streams, but let's hear it here officially. What are your thoughts on Fault so far? What do you predict?
Well, I already mentioned that Stranger Matter Studios are just a really good group of people. Like I do think that they are some of the hardest working individuals that I've had a pleasure of meeting. They're kind of nuts, I'm not gonna lie. For Fault, my honest reaction, I think a lot of people are expecting it to be just like Paragon when it comes out in early access, and that's the wrong expectation to have. I think those people are going to be severely disappointed, because I'm going to say it right now, there's nothing that's going to come out, at least this year, that's going to be like Paragon, like in its truest sense. Like, it's not going to be a 1-for-1 for Paragon, because Epic Games had all the money and all the resources in the world. They literally oozed money so they could do whatever they wanted. Whereas Fault doesn't, and Strange Matter Studios doesn't. And so you have to really tailor your expectations to that. Now, I know there's a lot of mature people in my audience, and the Fault community and the Paragon community, that realize this, and they're going to be okay with it, and they just want to play some sort of version of Paragon that at least faintly resembles Paragon. And some people already feel that way with Overprime. I know this, it's a Fault stream, but some people feel that way with Overprime, but I personally don't feel that way with Overprime at this moment in time, which is why I'm really banking on Fault, and I can't wait to see what comes out of it. And maybe another project like Predecessor shows us something that's really cool and gives us that feeling. I know they've been working on making a map on Legacy as well, but what really stands out to me for Fault out of those two is that it's not a remake, it's a revisualization of it. And they're taking the Paragon, assets, they're taking the Paragon feel of it, but they're making something new, something different with it. They've got their own original map, they've got their own original hero kits, they've put passives in every single hero that they currently have in the roster. They brought passives back, they've balanced stuff out between tester, like it's not even a release game, and they're already hard focused on balancing. They have visions for ranked. They have visions for future esports stuff as well. They're thinking very, very long term. They've already thought of a really solid plan that A lot of that is exposed on the Trello page, and they interact with the community, and they are transparent with the community. And right now it's easy because the community is not that big, but they seem like the kind of guys that will continue to do that as the community grows, because they realize they were part of the player base that wanted Epic to be more transparent, and Epic never was. And so they know what it's like to be disregarded. So they were on both ends. They were both the consumers, and now they're the providers. And that's really important. Like they've been there, they've done that. They know how we feel as gamers. And it's just really reassuring. Like, it's really reassuring. I feel like I know exactly where their head is at. Even though they haven't really been spewing crazy amount of transparent details, obviously they have to keep some things close to their chest. But I still feel very confident in that they know what they're doing, and they got their head on straight. And so far, what they have been showing, like, people are complaining, oh, they're showing the skins, they're showing all this weird stuff, like, why are they showing skins, why are they not showing gameplay, etc., etc. But they've got their stuff together. They got their organization together. They've got their marketing, even at such a small scale, already together. They've got pretty graphics and stuff on Twitters and social medias. They're covering all that: Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. Like, they're working on that, and the manpower. They've got just about over 15 people. That's it. Like, just about over 15 people, and they're doing all that. They've divided them into different teams, and they're doing all that. And at this rate, at this pace, like, I can only imagine what happens if they try to, when they scale up and when things get really rolling. Like, there's a lot of potential here, and I definitely see that, and I have faith in these guys that they'll execute. And I hope that they do take a little bit of a break at some point, because they're definitely overworking themselves.
They deserve it, for sure. I understand that they're excited and they want to get this out there, and there's so much to do, but I agree with you. They deserve it.
100%.
Yeah, no, like you were saying, they're setting up for the future. That's what I really appreciate here, is that I understand why people are skeptical. There's several projects going on, and these fans have been burned before, so it's a little bit of where's the game? But there is the game. Thousands of people have played it, and I mean, many, including myself, and I'm sure you guys, we all loved it, even though there were faults. But it was a great game, and everything we're seeing now is them preparing for the future to have a sustainable game, a sustainable business model. I still have my bet. It's all in on Fault so far.
And one more thing to add to that, I do have a tendency to get very excited about things, maybe a little too excited, maybe a little too carried away. As someone with a decent platform, quote unquote influencer. I hate that term, but I really do influence a lot of people's opinions for some weird reason. When I say I'm excited about things, I truly am. Like, it's not some marketing scheme or ploy to try and get more views or whatever. Like, I really don't manipulate emotions well. Like, I do not have a poker face. If I'm upset, everyone will know I'm upset as soon as I'm there. Like, I can't hide my emotions whatsoever. I'm very outgoing with that. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm an empath. I feel what other people's are feeling, and I radiate that same emotion, and I just radiate emotion in general, like very, very actively. So I don't ever mean to, get people's expectations too high for no reason. If that happens, I'm sorry. I try to be mindful of it, but I also just love to be excited, dude. I love that positive energy. I love being hyped up. It's just so much fun. So I'm trying to keep it tame as of right now. I've been trying to keep it tame for a very long while. I know a lot of people want to see some stuff. I know a lot of people want to see some juicy info. I want to hear some leaks. All I can say is just be patient.
Just be patient. It's just, I think it's a bit different too because of this virus. Like, for me personally, I know if I was out working every day or if I was in school or whatever it may be, I wouldn't be as impatient as I have been the past few months.
Yep. I can confirm that's the same over here.
And for anyone that's watching that hasn't had the opportunity to play Fault or one of these Paragon remakes, the reason why I enjoy Fault, guys, I was skeptical of the game. In fact, I bought the Indiegogo, I did, but I was skeptical. I never talked in the Discord, never said nothing. I got a key to Alpha 3 weekend, and it was that weekend there when I got to actually play the game that changed everything for me. I was so impressed by how quick they fixed the crashes, for example, and I was so impressed by the feeling of the game. The game felt exactly like I remembered it, but it was clearly different than Paragon, but it still had that same feeling. I don't know if it's just the Unreal Engine that makes it feel that way or what it is, but it had that feeling that I know and love. And
I would say it's the competitive nature.
What do you mean?
When you talk about the feeling, because obviously they don't have the resources that Epic did, but it's a combination of like the MOBA strategies and a shooter combined, right? To me, that's the feeling more than anything. Like, because you have to make all these choices and decisions that pay off big time. They accumulate and pay off later. And to combine that with the mechanical skills that you need, I think that's the feeling to me. And
yeah.
I think Fault does that really well. It makes your choices meaningful.
And you could just tell, like, when you're playing it, like, it's the same kind of community. Everyone remembers. Sans, I'm talking about Fault, so the gameplay you see on the screen. By the way, for anyone that's watching this gameplay is old. It is very, very old, and it's not the greatest of gameplay. It's when I first started streaming and got my new PC and everything.
So it's for like February?
Yeah, this would be end of February 27th.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
I thought, man, I could have sworn this was like more recent than that. I could have sworn it was like March or April.
Well,
no,
I think the weekend transitioned into April or into March, but it was definitely in March.
Yeah, it was because this is the updated HUD and everything. But my feelings on Grandma Grux, I think Grandma Grux should replace the model of Orb Prime because Grandma Grux is the best and is a raid boss.
True.
That would be great if we could get like texture packs at some point where you could just reskin the map and you could just have like a Grandma Grux texture pack and a Grandma Grux announcer voice that goes with it. I think that would be great. Mm-hmm. And you should invest in that for microtransactions. You're welcome. No need to pay me. I'll just take a cut when you get sales.
100%. Oh, can you imagine Orb Prime skins that are just unique to imagine this. This is just kind of off topic. That you can change kind of like a Minecraft, you know how they have like texture packs, so you can change like how the world looks. Imagine that, but in Fault. Texture packs for map packs, different maps and how they look.
I just want the Norwegian flag plastered everywhere. I'll pay $100 for that.
Well, listen, they did that. It was so smart. They did that in Call of Duty Ghosts where they had announcer packs and they got people like Snoop Dogg to record stuff. And you would just have Snoop Dogg in your ear yelling commands high as hell. Like, yeah, this is in Call of Duty Ghosts, dude. You had different announcer packs. You had like Snoop Dogg was one of them. You had like an Army General Sergeant guy. There's a couple. You could do that. You could totally do that. And those would sell. I'm telling you right now. Those would sell. You get like an anime girl, like waifu voiceover, bro. I'm telling you right now. Cranky Trash Can, like
I want you voice
anime fans in general, bro. I would buy that probably. That'd be sick. You know, boom, easy.
I feel like Smite does that really well, don't they?
Orb Prime has been defeated. Get back to your base. You're about to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
For that. No, is that Smite does that, right? Don't they do that pretty well?
Yeah, exactly. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just do what other people are doing. But I would say on your point, yeah, it is a very competitive game. MOBAs are competitive by nature, which is why it's so important to have ranked mode. And I'm glad that Strange Matter Studios is trying to balance their game as much as possible, even at these early stages, to prepare for that and add a ranked mode. And I think it would definitely be better for them to add the rank mode sooner than later. I think, here's my personal opinion on this. I think it's better to add ranked mode before you add all the characters back, because as you add the characters back in one by one, you can balance them in accordance with everyone else one by one.
Yeah.
Because if you go with all the characters, first of all, it's going to take a while. Like if this is any indicator of how fast things are going to go, if they're going to release like 2 characters every couple of months, we're only we're not even at 20 mark yet, and there's almost 40 heroes in Paragon's lifetime. So that's going to take a while. So if you wait that long to get a rank mode out, the game's going to die before then, to be honest. Like you really do have to prioritize that and then add characters as they go. And balance around that.
The best example for that is literally League of Legends, like the MOBA that everyone knows, right? So if I just watched a documentary on Netflix, that's the only reason I know this stuff, but they brought it to PAX East. No one knew who they were. People liked it, so people played it, so it got pretty popular there. And then season 1, they already had a world championship in place, and for season 0, which League of Legends did have also, they did have a beta that cost money and it wasn't free. They also had ranked play. It wasn't in right away, but it did come in. It's like it was super important. They proved to all these other companies that ranked is what makes the game big. Like it was that world championship League of Legends year 1 that made it super, super big. Like that it literally made it like triple in growth or something like that because of
I'm glad you watched the documentary. It was definitely a really good documentary. For those of you wondering what he's talking about, there's a documentary on Netflix. Just type in League of Legends in the search bar. It's going to be the first one that pops up. League started from absolutely nothing. And it's again, that also gives me a lot of hope for pretty much any game with developers that really have a strong vision in mind. That you could really make it into something. Like you never know. Like nobody knew Fortnite was going to be as big as it turned out to be, right? Like that kind of stuff happens all the time. You don't know you're in the moment until you're in the moment, and it's just really hard to prepare for that.
Yeah.
Was Riot well established before? Did they have funding?
Yeah,
or
Gears of War. They made Gears of War.
No, Riot's not Epic.
Not Epic. No, that was their first game. No one knew who they were.
Yeah. Riot Games. They literally, I think they took some of the Dota 1 guys. I think what it was, and then they did find some investors. I forget. It was been a while since I watched the documentary, but it's all in there.
Invested in them. Not season 1 though. That was like season 5 though. It wasn't right away.
So they were basically an indie company.
Oh yeah, that was their first game. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
And on top of that, they didn't like the founders of that company, which is just 2 people. And then they had like 4 or 5 people. Some of them were friends. Some of them were Dota 1 people. They went 3 years without making a paycheck. And for the first 2 seasons of League of Legends, they couldn't get European servers working for whatever reason it was. So they had to outsource them, which ended up costing them money, even though they weren't bringing in money. And then they opened up like their cosmetics store and all that, and everything changed. But
that's super impressive. And yeah, like you said, it brings a little more hope, right? That this is actually possible. It's been done before, and I do believe that there's a market for it. I think the biggest reasons why Paragon never took off is just because there was never a marketing for it. Mm-hmm. Now, I believe that there was once upon a time Paragon did have decent balance, and
version 41.
Even before then, there are lots of versions that were. I think every version had problems, but they were playable, they were fun, they were competitive, and yeah, there was just they just did not spread the word at all. There's so many people found Paragon through their own means, right? Through just digging around on the PlayStation Store or whatever. But yeah, I think the potential's there. Epic did not take advantage of it whatsoever. I think Strange Matter Studios saw that mistake, from the get-go when they started the studio, and I think they're going to rectify that.
Mm-hmm. A lot of that is true, and again, I still think the main culprit was lack of ranked mode.
Yep,
I think agree. If they had a ranked mode, they would have had better balancing too. They'd have better feedback from players who were really dedicated to the game and played ranked a lot. They would have better feedback when it came to balancing stuff, better data from that, first of all, just from the ground up. Mm-hmm. And then yeah, like, as you because you need to, again, people weren't really sticking around when Epic got like a little too frisky with their changes. Having a ranked mode was definitely like key into keeping people around. And if you keep people around, more chance of them spending money on skins and stuff. They also needed, I think, better ways to monetize. I think their biggest dagger was when they came out with those stupid loot boxes where you needed keys for those. That was
There's
so dumb.
several layers.
And you had multiple skin colors of like a loot box skin, and it was just not the right thing to do. Like, you need to monetize things in a way that people want to spend their money on, like announcer packs, map reskins, all that stuff. I hope Balix is writing this stuff down. But like, you also had that marketing thing where they didn't really have like a crazy sponsored push on Twitch. Like, Tyler did play the game in the beginning, but Paragon was so different after that. Like, you know, when Paragon changed, they basically needed like a whole nother marketing push, essentially. And they just didn't want to put money into that. They didn't want to spend advertising dollars for that. And yeah, it was a mix of things. I don't think it was just the marketing.
No, of course not.
Played a role in it.
Yeah. Because the marketing was like, that was the problem with bringing people in, right? Then there was a problem keeping people, which had to do with monetization and competitive ranked. But like Jaffa Man says here in chat, they really did treat it like a tech demo. That's what it felt like most of the time. At least in the very early days of Paragon. It didn't feel like they ever wanted to market it or to have it grow in esports scene. It felt like Paragon accidentally got an audience, and it wasn't a huge audience, but it wasn't small either. But I feel like it happened by accident, and so they're like, okay, we'll test the waters, right? We'll try to bounce it a little competitively. We'll add monetization, see what people think, add some loot boxes. But it really did feel like, first and foremost, it was a tech demo for the Unreal Engine, and that was it. And that can even be backed up by the fact that all those assets are now released on the Unreal Engine.
Mm-hmm. And this
valid there.
And I just see it there in the chat. Someone, Mythical Kiwi, something about loot boxes or randomized skins. I'm not affiliated with Strange Matter Studios in any ways, but from what I know, no, they will not have loot boxes. They want to make it so they can buy the skin individually and buy the characters individually if you want.
Yeah, we have Balix in the chat there. He's a developer, so he's...
Imagine putting loot box in your game in 2020. Dude, like it's taboo. Like, it's just so ugly. There's so many better ways to monetize. You don't need to have loot boxes. Like, if you do have loot boxes, then at least make it so you don't have exclusive content locked away in the loot boxes.
Yeah.
And make sure the boxes are not pay to win, right? Like, if there is a skin that you really want, you should be able to go into the store and purchase that skin. End of story. But if you want to gamble a little bit, and again, that's where the questionable stuff comes in. Our loot box is gambling, but like, let's say you can earn like a tier 4 skin in a loot box that's usually $20, but it's super rare. And one loot box costs like, I don't know, $3, $5, whatever. Do you want to take that chance of paying $5 and getting a $20 skin? Maybe, whatever. Some people like that, but at the end of the day, I think you can make a fully functioning game without loot boxes. And if you do get loot boxes, make it so that you have to earn them, like the way League of Legends does.
You know what game actually changed? I don't know if anyone knows this, but Rocket League, which is done by Sonic Studios, I think it must have been 6 months ago now, actually ended up getting bought by Epic Games. And for anyone that doesn't know, the reason Tencent, besides the fact that they just like buy shares in every company, the biggest reason why they are as profitable as they are is because they are the kings of microtransactions. They make the most money doing it. So when Epic Games ended up buying Psionic Studios and Rocket League, they brought the loot boxes thing, or some version of it, in Rocket League now. So it's there.
Yeah. It is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the fans hate it. Like, any avid Rocket League player probably lashed out at the company because of that.
Yep. Yeah, I was a part of that. I was watching that happen. No, Ed, we got several people in chat here agreeing. Without a doubt, it is gambling, and what it does is how they make the money is that it's not equally distributed throughout all of the player base. It's not like everybody, because most people don't buy loot boxes. What it comes down to is where most of the money comes from is the 1% that get addicted, right? The 1% that want to have everything or get that certain skin, and they just keep buying, they keep going. It triggers something in certain people, and it's a very small percentage, and that's where they make most of their money. And that's predatory tactics to use against your customers. It's just unethical in my opinion. It is 100% gambling.
Find those whales that will just dump thousands of dollars into it, basically.
Yep.
But I want to comment on event skins, Jeff. Man, I think that is brilliant. Limited time anything is just it's 100%. It's just gold in marketing. Yep. Like limited time, literally anything. Limited time skins, limited time discount, limited time themes, limited time whatever. People are so afraid of missing out. FOMO, like they're so afraid of missing out that they just gotta get it. They gotta get that is why. And here's the dirty little secret. That's why Fortnite made so much money, because from the very beginning, their shop was a limited daily shop. Every day, there was something different in the shop. If you didn't log on to that game or look up online what was in that shop, you wouldn't know what skins were for sale. And those skins would switch to day. Now, they did have some weekly offers too, I think, but they also had daily offers, and people would just be so afraid of missing out. And they would also vault things away. Like they would vault skins away and not sell them in the store until much later, or maybe never again. So it's just that kind of stuff is just like that. That's the best way to make money off your game. And one thing Sean asked, do you agree the YouTube streamers can be the workhorses for Strange Matter Studios? I do agree to a certain extent. It is important though that YouTubers and streamers, and I've made this very clear to Strange Matter Studios, it's very important that they remain independent, that they aren't actually like entities of the company. They're not actually part of the staff or part of the company, stuff like that. It's very, very, very important to make that clear. But if the company basically like contracts the influencers, whether they're YouTubers or streamers, and they give some sort of agreed upon currency, whether that's shout outs on socials, more viewers, or actually just money, then I think that's fine if the companies license them out. I mean, you see sponsored streams all the time. I think that's just kind of the new day and age. I mean, I personally haven't accepted any money from Strange Matter Studios as of yet, but I mean, when things get rolling, we might have to start signing some paperwork.
Unlimited vodka for Britik.
The biggest Oreos. He wants Oreos. The biggest reason I think I agree with what you said, Britik, about the independency is for anyone knows who Maven is. He's just a caster. He won like best caster of the year last year. He cast Call of Duty, and like when he's casting Call of Duty, like for Activision, you'll never hear him say a bad thing about the game. He always promotes it, all that stuff. But on his personal channel, which he does have, and he does do his own talk show with TP, anyone that knows him, they won't. Now, they're not going to straight shit on Call of Duty because it's you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you, of course. But they can call him out for stuff that they disagree with in a very critical and professional manner without getting in trouble. And I think
they can be honest.
Yeah, and I think stuff like that. That's why it's really important, because the second you become like, I don't know, a dev for a company, for example, it's a lot harder to be critical without it maybe possibly jeopardizing your job or being biased or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And I think nowadays you need that more than ever, because it's so easy. Like everything's online. It's so easy to be fake, basically. And that's why I try so hard to be transparent and honest my entire career, because I don't want to be devolved into that. And it's obvious. It's clear. Like when you're promoting something, when you're being paid for something, obviously nobody's going to pay you for bad exposure. They're going to pay you, and they're going to essentially bribe you to say nice things about it. But that's the exchange. That is the exchange. And again, there are ways to go around it. If like you can sell out and you could promote everything left, right, and center and whatever, but then you won't have credibility. But for example, like when it comes to sponsors, I'm just speaking from personal experience. Like when I try to get sponsors, or when I try to get in touch with companies, I try to get in touch with companies with products that I truly believe in and actually use myself and really do enjoy, because it's just going to be so apparent that I'm lying through my teeth that I don't, actually think this is a good product, but yet I'm still selling it anyway. That's just wrong. Like, it's so, it's so important. So, again, I always bring up this funny thing, but I've been hit up so many times by Raid Shadow Legends to do an ad. And I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm doing a Raid Shadow Legends ad. I've never downloaded the game. I've never touched it. I don't even play games on mobile. I'm not doing that. Unless they give me a ridiculous amount of money. Yeah. Like, a ridiculous amount of money. Then I'll join the meme and sell out. That's fine.
Yeah. I just wanted to take a moment there. We've kind of already transitioned, but guys, I want to make this the official announcement. We're definitely going into Act 2 now. We're into Act 2. And as you can see there, it's in the chat. Fault Hub Network are doing a giveaway, and we're giving away 2 Fault Master Packs. You can click that link there in the chat, and it'll take you to that giveaway. And also, I just wanted to say, Chandler, are you here? Chandler?
He's in hiding.
Chandler?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's getting a little crowded in here. Feels like feels like we got some swole man in this.
GottaGetSwole is here. He's the other co-host of the Faultarian Journal. He just had to come in a bit late because he had some work. He just got off work.
Installing the pipe.
But
laying pipe
Swole,
all day.
Please just give introduce yourself a little bit there.
It's me at GottaGetSwole. Here to hang out with the boys.
Awesome. And for anyone that doesn't know what we're doing here today, this is a journal. We're here to talk about everything Fault and Paragon related. We have a special guest of Britik on the stream. We have a recurring guest as well, Norweginator, who's a mod in the Strange Matter Studios Discord. Junior.
Someone asked if I'm leaving, and to quote Wolf of Wall Street, I ain't leaving. Sticking around for the rest of the 2 acts.
Yeah, well, that's rookie numbers. He's in for the long haul. Get them numbers.
Okay, so I'll tell the story because I see it in the chat because Balix brought it up. The reason I have a webcam ordered is because Chandler texted me one day and was like, and then he donated to me in stream. He said, get a webcam, get an effing webcam. And I ordered it. It's been on order since March 6th. And it hasn't shipped yet. I should also mention.
Where did you order it from, dude? Wish.com?
I have ordered it on Amazon, but everything's sold out. I got the Logitech
they went out of
C922.
stock because everyone freaked out about the pandemic.
Yeah. All those Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
No, the Zoom meetings, bro. They need their webcams.
I had a Zoom meeting this morning, and they asked me, "Yo, can you turn your camera on?" No.
Oh my god!
I swear I did.
You got a front-facing camera on your phone, right?
I'm not using my phone. I'm using my PC.
He's pulling up the JPEG of him.
For just $5 a month, you can donate to the charity of Buy Stranger a Webcam. Please look at these sad puppy images that will influence you to spend money. Also, hit the follow button and use Twitch Prime.
I don't know if you guys saw this. This is super off topic, but you got me thinking about Zoom meetings now. I don't know if anyone follows Eric Andre, but he made a Zoom background of him getting mugged. So he has a setup that like it'll just endlessly replay of him walking into his own house, just stealing all his shit and leaving.
Is Eric Andre the guy with the meme that's like, let me in? Let me in! Yeah. Love him.
I'll choose to that.
Unholy, I'll just answer your question right quick. You got to sign up on playfault.com to make an account for Fault. And even though the game's on Steam, whatever your profile name is on playfault.com, that is the name that'll show up in the game. And Balix is faster at modding than Drake is. Facts. Yeah.
And I still need more mods for my Twitch channel, so keep working. Keep working. These are your tryouts.
And then we see BB saying, "AK Platypus," coming to the chat. Anywho, on that, let's move into the first topic of Act 2. We got emotes. So, all I wanted to say about emotes is we were kind of talking about cosmetics already a little bit. Why, in your opinion, Britik, why is emotes and cosmetics in general, why is it super, super important?
Well, people want to express themselves. People want to flex. Look what I got. Look at the money that I spent. Here's what cool thing I can do that maybe you can't unless you also spent money. It kind of, people are, for the most part, selfish assholes. Okay, they wanna be cooler than other people. They want to show off how cool they are, especially gamers. Okay, because a lot of gamers, they weren't really the popular kids in school. Trust me, I was one of them. Okay, and so they want to show off. They want to be cool. They want that BDE. You know what that stands for? Okay, they want to just get in there and prove to everyone that they're special. So I think emotes and cosmetics are just really important for that reason, but also just because, when you're playing the same game over and over and over and over and over again, you kind of want to change the look of it a little bit, kind of freshen some things up. It's like, why do people change their silverware, right? Like, it'll still do the same function. It'll still do the same exact thing, but maybe it just doesn't go well with the aesthetic of your kitchen anymore. I don't know. Right. So stuff like that, or maybe they want to match with their friends. Maybe they want to both have like the same skin or both have the same theme of skins. And we saw multiple themes in Paragon's lifetime, and we already see a military theme with the Who bundle. Okay. Yeah, and of course, you need some sort of monetization when it's a free game. So, I mean, if it's there, it's there. And if you want to buy it, you want to buy it. It's not pay to win. It's not forced on anyone. So just having that there is good in case somebody wants to buy it and help support the game.
Yeah. And yeah, it's the way they make, it's the way they got to make money, guys. So like, for this to be more than just a pipe dream, this Fault remake, this Paragon remake Fault, they need to make money somehow. So, and that's in my opinion is the best way to do it. It doesn't affect the gameplay; it just makes you look badass while you're playing. And I knew this guy. Well, I still play with him. His name's Hoppy, and I remember when they introduced loot crates in Call of Duty. I think this was Advanced Warfare. I'm not. I don't exactly remember. He dropped at least $60 USA a week on those loot crates. I think he's crazy, but he loved having those gun skins. So, and when he does play Fault, inevitably, because he will one day, he's gonna be really big when it comes to buying some hero skins and texture packs and all those other stuff they have, like ward skins that are coming out. I also think
definitely need a teabag emote, by the way.
100%. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. And not just that too. The way I always look at it is, especially because I'm trying to support Strange Matter as an indie company. Even if I didn't like the skin, I'd probably buy it just to support them at this point. But the biggest reason for me when it comes to support is, let's say this game produced enough profit that they had enough money to put, they made enough money to put food on the table and pay their bills and everything. That means they're just going to have more time to make the game. Like it might go from, they don't have to worry about having a job that pays well because they already have the job, because they have this job as Fault as a dev, to have more time in the game. That's my big thing.
We got to share the wealth. And one more thing, one more emote request. Sean kind of mentioned it. He loves this. He loves it when I do this. But for those of you who have not been in my streams, when we get hype trains going in the chat, I do like to do the Bernie. That's what the dance is actually called. You can Google, you can YouTube. It's called the Bernie. It's a very simple dance. I just basically lean back and just kind of wiggle my body a little bit like a giant worm. Okay, you've probably seen VODs of it, clips of it. It's a very popular dance. We need that emote in the game on Grux, confirmed. Like that.
Oh, 100%.
That needs to happen. It needs to happen, please.
It needs to happen, 100%. And
that was also a big thing. Made me think. Remember when Epic Games did the Fortnite emote contest, and they got that like 8-year-old.
Yeah,
who won, and like that dance to this day is like super legendary, and I just remember that whole thing and that kid in that orange shirt just dancing, and it adds a lot of on the one hand money, but on the other hand like a way for people to care about the game a bit more and feel like they can express themselves and all that kind of stuff.
Dude, I do the orange justice dance all the time.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I'm really excited to see emotes and skins and all this stuff. One emote I would love to see is, I would love to see, like, I don't know, let's say a Kwong. I would love to see Kwong like slap his sword, put his sword into the ground, and then he just starts doing like 360s on his back and just starts dancing like that. Like, I would love to see that. Or like the Gundam style dance. But they might get copyrighted for that though.
You definitely need you need those silly emotes in the game for sure. Like you can have ones that make sense thematically or with the lore, but you need those silly emotes, dude. You need them.
100%. And that kind of transitions into the second topic we have for Act 2 is funding. We kind of already talked about it. The only funding Stranger Matter Studios has had so far that the public is aware of, at least, is the Indiegogo, which is like crowdfunding in a sense. Do you think, Britik, that was enough to make the game, for the full thing?
Was it enough for early access, or was it enough for the whole game?
Let's say both.
No, it takes well, okay. So if you just want to make the game with the assets that are already released, it's enough to at least keep things going. It's enough for servers to be a thing. I don't know how much professional talent they can hire with that much money. I'm not assuming it's too much, because video game development is super, super expensive. For original content, it's not even close. They definitely need to make more money. So and having all that said, that's why I'm such a big proponent for them actually advertising these skins already, because it shows that they realize how important monetization is. And as long as they get the actual gameplay part of it down, no one's going to remember any of this. No one's going to remember the before 4 times. No one's going to remember like how hard it was to get going, or how much they pushed for monetization with the skins. It's not going to matter. If the game's good, people are going to play it. They're not going to care that much. You're going to have a couple people on Reddit, like you always do, complaining. And
that's Reddit,
the end of it. Yeah, that's going to be the end of it, right? Like you need to have as many forms of monetization that you know are going to be welcomed and are going to be purchased as possible. Because if you go into the effort of making something that people aren't going to buy, then what's the point? So you do need those methods of monetization: emotes, skins, announcer packs, as we talked about, stuff that Paragon didn't do, right? Announcer packs, texture packs. You could even do like, instead of texture packs, you could do like HUD packs. Like for Christmas, you could do like a Christmas themed HUD where you have like little presents chilling on like a little Christmas tree on the corner of your screen, or like with snow on top of the ability boxes or something. Like you could do that. Right, avatars, as Balix was saying, right? Like customize, avatars and stuff like that. Obviously, Battle Pass is perfect. Mastery rank up skins per character that lets you grind towards it, kind of like what Valorant is doing right now, where you can just activate an agent and you play and you earn experience towards that agent. You don't even need to play as the character themselves to earn experience for that character. You could just say, hey, I want to earn experience for this character and for their skins and their emotes and whatever. but I could still play whatever character I want. That that'd be cool. But you still need to unlock that with either in-game currency or some sort of premium currency. So it it is really important for there to be a lot of different monetization strategies, and I will never understand the people who complain about that, because I think it's just very short-sighted. They don't realize that at the end of the day, it is a business, and they do need an inflow of money to create an outflow of results and finished products, and that's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, the best example I give for that, and I'm completely with you, I agree. But if I was 15 or 14 years old and someone said to me, "It's $20 to get Fault Early Access," I would have to go and ask my parent for that money, most likely, unless I had like some birthday money saved up or whatever it is. And that's where it would be difficult for me, because no one wants to go and ask mom and dad for $20, or ultimately you want to get the Masters pack, right? So that's where I could see it as an issue. But now that I'm 23 years old, I get it. Like, I have no problem dropping a bit of money, and they need the money, guys. They need the money. It's just like anything. Nothing's free in this world,
I mean, my parents said, "Listen, you get straight A's in school, we'll get you a lot of gifts." Like, obviously they wouldn't go all out. Like, if I wanted a PlayStation, they would say, "You got to wait for it until it's like Black Friday or something, then we'll get it for you." But like, if I wanted, like, if $20 for something and I haven't asked for something in a while, they'll be like, "Okay, yeah, here you go." Like, I was just a really good kid, and my parents really did love me a lot. And if I did need the money, then yeah, I would do chores or mow some lawns, or what I did when I was growing up was I would tutor. So I would tutor kids in my class, and I'd get money that way. So yeah, I was a math tutor because I'm a big nerd. And yeah, just there's nothing wrong with that. You just go and get that money, dude. I mean, it's more of an issue of just being privileged than it is of, that's not Strange Matter Studios' fault. No pun intended, but it's just being a spoiled brat. Just go do something. Earn it, boy.
Yeah, definitely work for it in some way. Yeah, and that makes sense. So what do you think about early access? There's 3 different packs. We got the $15 pack with the 1 week promotion, a $25 pack, I think, with the 1 week promotion, and then we have the $55 pack. So that's fine and dandy, and I'm glad the 3rd pack gives you the season pass. But what do you think about the season pass also being $20? Do you agree with it, disagree with it, like it, dislike it, think it's fine?
I think $20 is a great value for that. I really do. Especially if you get in, well, especially like later on when the game is completely free and you go in, you just pay $20, because that season pass, that's not like a regular battle pass that lasts like 2 months. That's going to last what seems to be a good bit.
It seems like it's going to last all of early access.
Yeah, especially this first one. Maybe the future seasons will get shorter as they, ramp up production and they get more team members and they can pump stuff up faster. But yeah, I mean, this looks like at least a 6-month thing. $20 for 6 months of season pass sounds pretty epic to me. I think that's a really good value.
Mm-hmm. And you get some skins in it too, which is always nice. So do you think the only how do I word this? So when it comes to funding, do you think that they should just stick without going too in depth in this, do you think it should just stick to just the Steam packages and season pass they have, not look at like maybe investors or anything like that for the future for early access? Or do you not have an opinion on that?
I think it could do wonders for the studio if they get an angel investor of some sort.
You think so? Like if Jeff Bezos came down?
I think, and what Jaffa says is correct. I think you need an investor that'll come in that believes in what the company is already doing, that's going to keep their nose out of it. They're just going to be like, "Hey, here's my money. I'm not going to, I'm not going to rush it. I'll give you a year. Right? Like, just show me what you can do. And here's $1 million. go for it. Like I think you need that because great example. I'm big into esports and I'm a big fan of 100 Thieves, and that's exactly what happened to 100 Thieves.
Oh.
I mean, you had Nade Shot, right? Optic Nade Shot, who is already a prominent figure in Call of Duty history, who's probably arguably the most well-known Call of Duty player of all time, and especially at the time.
Yeah.
And he already had like a very large following, and so when he was done with being a competitive player, he went to create this organization because he wanted to make an esports org. And yeah, he had a lot of support from his patronage. He did make a bit of money from his competitive career, but it still wasn't enough. Obviously, like he still needed help creating the business that it grew out to be to this day. I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar company. Yeah. It's insane. It's tens of $1 million worth of company. And that would not have been, but like he probably would have been able to make his own company, but it wouldn't have gone at the pace that it has gone to this day, and it would have been much slower if not for angel investors like Scooter Braun. Like that was the first one to really invest into him, and then you had Drake, obviously, which was insane. So stuff like if they get even one angel investor, someone who's going to come in, not be too scrutinous, and be like, hey, I got a ridiculous amount of money, but I'm a big fan of what you do, and I do believe in your vision, and you've sold me on it, and I do see a lot of potential here. And there is a lot of potential here. It's not a very thoroughly dived into market, the third-person MOBA genre. Very little competition, very new. Like Unreal Engine 5 came out, and you can probably implement that in the future, right? Update the game and implement that in the future. There's a lot of potential here, and no one's really touching it because everyone's like all about battle royales right now. They're not really thinking too much about other genres. Everyone's just trying to get their hands in on battle royales. I really do believe you get some people that were big fans of Paragon that also had a ton of money, and you get to them, you reach out to them, you get some real good people on that investment team, and you say, hey, listen, I made the best fucking PowerPoint presentation. Best freaking PowerPoint presentation of all time. Here's Faults. Give me your money right now. I'll make your wildest dreams come true. This is an untapped market. You will be a hero. And there's a chance for everything in this life. Nothing's impossible. Improbable, maybe, but not impossible. Okay?
100%.
So that is, I think that would be the best case scenario, honestly. You get an angel investor who says, listen, I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to take, I'm going to take some share of your company here, but I'm not going to tell you what to do or what not to do. You're the boss, Omninaut. You're the boss, Fresher. You're the boss, Jester. Like, we're going to let you do it. And there you go. Mm-hmm. I think worst case scenario is that obviously that doesn't happen. Worst case scenario is that early access doesn't go to plan. Not that many people buy the packs, or maybe people do buy the packs, but they don't like the product of it, so they kind of disappear. Then it's going to be kind of hard. Then they're going to have to spend some time climbing back up. They're going to slide down. We all just got to wait and see. We all got to wait and see what it looks like. And again, I have a lot of faith. But when it comes to monetization, investors are great. And also, I don't see anything wrong with Battle Pass, Season Pass, skins, all the stuff that other companies are doing. Just put it all together in one big ball and throw it on the plate.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine in my opinion. I don't mind the Season Passes and everything. And one thing I just wanted to say there for everyone. Again, I've already said this, so I just want to say it again. This is old gameplay, guys. And if you're going into early access, expecting it to be a finished product, as Britik was saying earlier, you're going to be disappointed because it's not going to look as good as Paragon did, and it's going to have its bugs. That's why it's in early access. That's why it's considered Season 0.
It's called early access, not the game.
Yeah, that is gonna happen. Obviously, I want a game that looks great like Paragon. Paragon looked fantastic. It's a great way to get people in through streaming and through marketing, the better it looks, it'll just attract people, right? But when it comes to the gameplay, that is more important than the way it looks.
People also like they realize that the models look good as well. I'm telling you right now, like, and I've said this multiple times on my stream. You polish up this UI, you make this look, spick and spam. You polish up the HUD. People are gonna think like if you didn't change anything else at all about the game, right? Like literally nothing else except for the HUD and then the UI. So like the main menu not looking like a bunch of boxes on paint.
Yeah.
And then the items actually having item art. You change the HUD, you change the item art, and you change the main menu the way that looks. Maybe even add a little bit of background music to it. 100%, I guarantee you that at least 80% of the people who did not like the game and are Paragon fans will like the game. They're just turned off by the HUD and by the UI. And both of those things are currently being worked on as we speak.
Yeah,
and
they're better.
And you can expect things to look better when early access comes out.
Oh, it matters.
Yeah, it matters a lot. But I think even maybe not more important, but as important as bringing in the Paragon fans is reaching a whole new audience.
Yeah,
just
that's
if you're
a big thing.
New,
yeah,
let's say you've never played Paragon, never heard of it, or even played a MOBA before. If Fault is the first thing that you walk into, and I think this a big focus of theirs for early access is they want to make sure that if you're walking in and you don't know anything about Paragon, you can still look at the game and go, yeah, this is fun. I want to play this. I see the potential in this early access.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can see the point there. Like with the UI and stuff, that is like a huge first impression, and first impressions, they mean a lot. They're stuff like that is going to bring in new players a lot. But if the gameplay's not good, you're not going to retain those players. And because the way Fault is, because you don't have to pay well, I guess you do for early access, don't you? For full release, it's going to be free. And they're not pulling a Call of Duty where you're going to pay $60 for the game, and even if you never play it, the company still got their money. They need that replayability. It needs to be good. And I kind of yeah.
And I was gonna say, that's what I'm saying, Waz. Like that's what I'm saying. These health and mana bars that are hurting your eyes, like once that's all fixed up, it's gonna be much easier for sure. Another thing that I want to mention is that early access PC, release. Let's say it doesn't have to go fantastic. It doesn't have to go perfectly, but it goes well enough. It's got people support. People are buying it a lot. Us streamers have something to stream consistently, make YouTube videos on consistently. Things pick up. People who, were devastated that Paragon got shut down and left, but now that they see this new thing that looks like Paragon are coming back and enjoying it as well. Come full launch. Imagine this, right? Imagine this. They've got early access for let's say early access is 6 months, right? Because that's going to put us in the next year, and they want full launch next year, right? Let's say early access is for 6 months, and in those 6 months, they fix everything up. Everything's beautiful. HUD, UI, menu, everything completely, fully polished. Everything's done, right? The game is balanced around the characters that that it's made. Like let's say they add maybe 2 more characters in, and then everything's balanced, and that's fine. They're probably going to try and add more, though, according to the season pass. But anyway, let's say everything's dandy, everything's fantastic. Then they want to launch full access. Imagine this. I know this is a stretch. I know this is probably not going to happen. But we're talking best case scenario right now. Fault launching, full launch, 2021, full launch for free on PC and PlayStation 5. Like they out of nowhere say, boom, here we go. We have it on console, right? Or even better, PS5 and Xbox Series X, whatever, right? Yeah. Out of nowhere, they didn't mention it at all, and they just throw it out, right? That is a stretch. But if if they extend early access to the point, like they just keep it in early access until they can do that, imagine like the mic drop effect. Like, hey, here we go. Because most of the Paragon player base was on console. That's a huge market. And and with the PlayStation 5 going to be a relatively new console,
it's going to be huge.
It's going to be one of the first like top tier quote unquote top tier games on the market. In our eyes, it's going to be top tier, right? I don't know how it's going to be the masses, but it's going to be a game that's made on Unreal Engine 4. That's a third person MOBA, quote unquote, nothing else like it, right? Smite's still going to be Smite. Like you've got that. That's going to be insane. Like that's a huge moment of timing to capitalize on. That's a golden moment.
This is one of those moments where, because new consoles coming out, it's like a fresh start for every company. So if you get in early and you take advantage of that before it starts getting saturated in the PS5 games with so many PS5 games, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, the paradigms are shifting, and Fault honestly couldn't have come at a better time. There's so many things. I feel like Battle Royales are starting to die out. I mean,
they are. Yeah.
Fortnite's still wildly successful, and I think it will be for a long time to come, similar to Minecraft, just because of the vast number of the player base. But people are looking for something new. Most console games are not releasing anything new because they're waiting until their next generation, right? Mm-hmm. Like PlayStation, I don't think have announced anything for like over a year now. Really, like first
tomorrow,
party.
Tomorrow they're gonna have.
No. I just mean in general, like for the PS4, they haven't released any like first party titles, like anything big in the past 2 years.
Yeah,
right. So there's. But in general, there's been a big gap for a lot of people in the gaming industry for the past like year or two, depending on what platform you're on. And everything's about to change. You know, we don't know where the next trends are going to be, and Fault could at least capitalize on some of that. And I think it's really good timing, like you were saying, Britik.
Mm-hmm. I think not only do they have to get on PlayStation first, they have to do it in style. They have to make sure the game works, which is what I'm saying. Extend early access if you need to, because they never said when Fault is officially launching. They said 2021, right? So you can extend it basically till Q4.
It literally says on it tentative on the Trello.
Yeah, it says tentative as well. And I'm just saying like that, it is a pipe dream. Okay, I'm not saying early 2021, but I'm saying like, let's say early access. You can keep it in early access for a year. I don't see any problem with that. And then give it enough time to boil, cook in the pot, and then just drop it, dude. Just drop the bomb. And even if another game comes out on console first, again, if that game is rushed, if it's not good, people might play it for like a month, maybe, and then move on to something better. When Fault comes around and it drops and it's actually like huge and sexy and beautiful, people are gonna play that and be like, wow, this is actually what happens when you take your time with the game and you just slap it down on the table.
Well, so I know nothing about game development whatsoever, but I'd have to imagine that a game that ran so well on Unreal Engine 4, including on consoles, because you're using similar assets and everything. Obviously, the code isn't as tight. But I'm assuming that to get this game to the next generation of consoles that are so powerful, that it's not that much of a stretch. To see Fault on the PS5, it's probably easier to do than on the PS4, I would assume. But once again, I don't know anything about game development.
Yeah, it all depends on how the dev kit. If the dev kit like supports Unreal Engine super well, or they have to recode everything. They might.
Well, I mean, the PlayStation, for example, very specifically has Unreal Engine in mind, and you'd have to assume that with consoles that are that much more powerful, it would be easier to code for. You don't have to optimize as much, right?
And then Xbox is literally, like Microsoft talked about this, Xbox literally does the same thing for that PC is doing, because everything's Microsoft.
Yeah.
So if you coded your game for PC, it's almost as simple as just porting it over.
It's all just perfect timing. It's just all coming together. This is the moment for Fault.
This is it, man.
Over the next year.
I wanted to bring up this. I was thinking about it earlier, but I forgot the point in my head. And I just wanted to bring, and this is kind of my opinion on it. bringing it to PS4, PS5 is super huge. Whoever does that first, as long as the game's actually, fun to play and has good replayability, they're going to be the most successful at first, for 100%. Because you're going to hit them, the majority of the Paragon community then. But what I would love to see out of Fault is the Paragon community is there. They're established. It's fantastic. Use it. But I want to see Fault grow outside of the Paragon community, because I know they're also not $1 million company, not yet at least. It was the Paragon community that kind of, they were there with a dead game already. I would love to see them grow and expand outside of the Paragon community, because what if we end up in an issue where the Paragon community just isn't large enough for Fault one day?
Well, Strange Matter, they've talked about that. I mean, that is their focus.
Yeah.
Which is what I think gives them a big leg up on the competition. They're not trying to recreate Paragon. They see the potential that Paragon had, and they're trying to utilize that, and they're trying to rectify the mistakes that Epic made and create a game that everyone will like, not just Paragon fans, but everyone. So I think you're right on the money there.
And I think like the main demographic they should be looking at now, in my opinion, is that obviously the old fans of Paragon. Like that just makes sense, right? They're there. Yeah,
it's a boost.
Yeah. But like once full release comes, and let's say they got on PS5, as we were just hypothesizing, they would immediately expand to outside. They would get a bunch of new players that have never heard about Paragon, but now they heard about Fault. They got no connection to Paragon, and now they're playing this. And that, I think, is super important. But that's like step 20, and we're almost at step 1 now.
Well, yeah, people, and again, this is just another thing about people being short-sighted. They think that these games are only for the Paragon community and that's it. And they're worried about Paragon community being splintered with these different titles coming out, and they're not thinking long-term. Like, you gotta listen, Fault is going to come out on Steam. What other third-person MOBA is on Steam? Smite, right? Mm-hmm. And that's probably going to be about it. And because those are in the same category, there's some other ones, of course, but no one cares about them. And that's going to be about it. And when Smite people go on Steam to play Smite, maybe one day they're like, man, I'm just really bored of Smite. And they go on Steam and they see in the recommended, hey, here's a third-person MOBA. It has both of those tags. It's very easy to tag something on Steam and make it similar to other games and discoverable. And it's like, hey, here's a third-person MOBA. It's free. It's called Fault. Try it out. See if you like it. And the Smite player's like, hey, I'm just going to try this out because, man, I'm so bored of Smite and I don't like any other kind of games, but I like third-person MOBAs. Here we go. So you have that on Steam. Bring that on consoles. Same thing for console because Smite's in there too. So you can, one, also start taking people from Smite if you'd like. But again, what drew people into Paragon, remember, Paragon, like, it had the marketing power of Epic that only had like one trailer basically on YouTube, and that was about it, which is what we were talking about. It had some people play the game on Twitch as well, which I guess is pretty big as well. You can allocate some funds for that if you really want to, if you're Strange Matter Studios. But a lot of people that played Paragon, like you said, have never played MOBAs before. They played other games, right? Mm-hmm. And they saw it and like, this looks similar to what I used to play. And then they played it and they're like, I actually like this game and I like the style of game and I want to keep playing it. And so same thing is going to happen here because it literally looks the same as Paragon, right? So same thing's going to happen there, and you can start getting more people through there as well. And then just try and grow the category through Twitch. Again, keep your expectations realistic. Paragon was a AAA studio with all the money in the world, basically. It's just as much as they wanted to lose or earn at that point. And they could have spent as much money as they wanted on marketing. They could have spent more. That's we already talked about that. But if you really, really think that Fault is going to be the same thing as Epic when it comes to player base, I highly doubt it, at least in the beginning. I highly doubt it. It's going to take longer to build that up for sure. But again, League of Legends, it's been going for 10 years. And in the beginning, it was a wreck. It was like beyond a wreck.
I don't know if anyone knows this, but there was a time in League of Legends, and it was all in the documentary, and I said it earlier. They literally could not get the game to work in Europe. And Europe at the time was their biggest market. Like, it just did not work. They had to outsource it to another company to get servers there. And that company ended up screwing them over because no one would work on a weekend, and the servers shut down. And then another time with Epic, they're literally world champs semifinals with League of Legends, and the server shut down again, and they spent 8 hours trying to fix it and couldn't fix it.
One caveat there, though, is that technology is different now than it was in like 2008.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Amazon servers are much more robust now. That's not an issue anymore, so you can't really make that same excuse. But the point is that I was trying to make, like one of the most successful games in the world right now started off miserably.
Yeah, for years. But look at them now. And Fault has that potential. They really do. They got a long way to go, you know. But I'm a dreamer, and I like seeing the potential gets me really excited.
Yeah, I'm an optimist.
Yeah, that's the thing. So let's move in. I think we kind of covered the PlayStation thing, the PS partner thing already. I wanted to go into the extra topic there of hate, or is it passion? And I mentioned this to you, Britik, before we talked about this. I made sure. I'm trying to think.
Boy.
I'm trying to think of a good way to go about this.
Here we go,
guys.
Manga us.
Here we go. I'm passionate about Fault, guys. In fact, I'm just passionate about Paragon and the remakes. But you can see some people are so passionate. We'll say some.
Reddit.
Some people are so passionate about certain games that they're willing to try to make other games look bad for the passion of the game they believe in. Britik,
so what you're saying is Overprime is dog.
What's your opinion on this? What do you think? Do you think it really is that people just hate? I'm not just saying necessarily Fault. We're kind of talking Paragon remakes in general now. Do you think it is that people just hate Fault, or do you think it is just that their passion is somewhere else?
All right, listen, man. All this talk about passion, you got me all riled up. I know a thing or two about hate personally, as someone who's been on YouTube for 7 years, and to tell you the truth, there's a lot of reasons people hate. Jealousy. It's the quote-unquote cool thing to do. It's not up to their own standards. They weren't loved as a child. There's a lot of different things, you know.
Why you call me out like that?
It's all, I don't know. It's not my business. It's not my job, okay? And you take it with a grain of salt. It's just part of the industry. You just brush it off. And sometimes there is a little bit of constructive criticism within all that hate. And some people do try to be constructive, and they just end up being rude in the process. And at the end of the day, there's that beautiful saying that all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
So even if you got these people that are really hating on Fault, you got these people that just really don't like it for whatever reason, and they're in other Discords, and they're just talking all this trash without maybe even giving it a solid chance either. That's their opinion. They're entitled to it, whatever. Okay. Actions speak louder. I mean, that's my motto. Actions are greater.
Yeah.
And it just, actions are greater. Like, you could talk all the ish you want about everything, but if the game's selling, if people are playing it, if people are enjoying it, you're going to be in the minority, and you're going to feel really damn stupid when you hop on board that train like everyone else did. You're You're gonna come in late. You're gonna be like, "Hey guys, want to play some Fault?" Like, you know, it just does. It's not a good look. And I think most decent people realize that there's no point in just needlessly hating. Now there is a difference, right? There's a difference between hating and giving constructive criticism, and that's where I think the quote unquote passion comes into play.
Yeah.
Like I was very passionate about Paragon. That didn't stop me from talking ish about the towers, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
It was because I was so passionate and I wanted the game to succeed that I wanted the towers to change and stop hitting like wet noodles. And I gave constructive criticism with every video. I didn't just call Epic Games a bunch of names. I didn't call them a scam. I didn't call them a sham. I didn't call them a sham. Wow, whatever. Like I did what I had to do to get things off my chest. But at the same time, it was always, I try to make it constructive at the very least. Like I had to make it entertaining for the YouTube audience, but I also had to make it constructive. And I think there's a point for that. And there's some people who just simply want attention and they think it's the best way to get attention is just by hating because they can't do anything else creative. And again, that's their problem, not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say anything about any other projects because Jester will get mad at me again. But
Norwegian confirmed thinks Overprime is dog.
What was that? Couldn't hear you.
You heard it here first.
So, but I will say that I think part of the reason so I don't think Fault gets a lot of hate, but obviously there's competition, right? Like you said, there's people passionate and they're probably scared of the player base being split. And I think where some of the misconceptions come in is that people see that you can't currently play Fault. Right, and maybe they haven't been paying attention. Maybe they didn't see it. That people have been streaming it, and thousands of people played it, and they just see, oh look, because I get this a lot as a junior moderator. Why are you guys selling skins? Since there's not even a game you can play. And obviously, the response is we're not even selling the skins. This is just proof of concept. It's coming in the future.
It's literally just promotion. Like that's all.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's saying, hey, we have a working game. It's coming out soon. You're also going to get some skins. Woohoo! But a lot of people are very skeptical, and you know what? That's fair. Like I said, this is a fan base that has been burnt once or twice. You see several companies coming in. You're not sure which one's the legit one, and I encourage everyone to do their research and fill up the games and decide for yourselves. And after that, if you hate Fault, you hate Fault. But I do see a lot of people that come in with just a lack of information, and that's where a lot of misunderstanding comes from, and a lot of hate, as you would say. It's just people that just aren't caught up all the way on all the news. They just see like the newest thing and go like, well, I can't play Fault yet, so why the hell is there a skin for Bellica? What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
How dare you make my favorite character even cooler?
My biggest thing.
Shout out once again. That Bellica skin, mwah, just beautiful.
My biggest thing with this, the way I look at it, let the gameplay speak for itself. When the game's out and you play it, and you got your gripes about it, then you got something to stand on. But
and we will be playing it soon. TM.
Until then, well, what are we really talking about here?
Honestly, I just think people need to find better uses of their time than complaining about games that aren't even games yet.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Steven Chandler, what is your guys' opinion on this? Guys, I got a kid calling out to me. I'll be 2 minutes.
All right, he's gone again. Let's talk crap about Stranger. What do you guys hate most about it?
Snap! I got pizza in my mouth. Give me 2 seconds.
What about Swole? Swole, what do you think?
What?
God damn it! Were you paying attention at all?
It's up to you and me, Britik. It's you and me.
There's been a couple questions coming in the same time.
Well, what do you hate him?
Buddy, he's a whole province over, and I can still smell him.
Oh, dude, I love the Canadian roasts.
Oh my goodness,
buddy! This freaking guy kept buying pizza when we were kids, and it was real kind of him. The nerve, jeepers creepers!
What a bastard!
Oh my god!
What a true bastard. Well, so I think we've talked about a lot of the positives. We've talked a lot about the the future of Fault and the opportunities that they have. But if Britik, let's hear your opinion first. If there's one thing that you would change, or one of your biggest gripes so far from playing the game, I know you were a tester. What's the most constructive feedback that you can give?
I feel like this is a beauty pageant where it's like, if you could change the world in one way,
Let's hear it.
how would you do it?
You're on the spot.
One thing I would change.
Seance. I'm from Nova Scotia also, just saying that. We all grew up in Lower Sackville. I'm sorry, I got a fellow Nova Scotian in the chat.
No, there's like 5 of you. It's good to get excited.
You need to understand, these Atlantic Canadians, when we meet each other, it's like he's now my best friend and I don't even know him, kind of thing.
well, one thing that I would change, and they already addressed this and they're working on it, is just the feedback that you get.
Yeah,
like
the hit feedback.
When you shoot something, when you get hit. Yeah, when you get hit, when you're low on health or something. Like just make the game have more feel to it. Make the game have more oomph to it.
What about something that they haven't addressed yet? Or do you feel like they've addressed everything that you brought up?
They haven't addressed custom lobbies. They haven't talked about it. It's not on their Trello page. I want it to be there because if you want to have esports, that needs to be in
definitely good for sure.
But what about in terms of gameplay? How it feels, how it plays, balance?
I mean, they've addressed a lot. I guess customizable crosshairs. That'd be sick if you could customize your crosshair.
Yo, do you remember the Black Ops 1 reticle sights?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, that was fun.
That was so awesome, man.
The heart was OP.
Yeah. Dude, there's a smiley face. Like, I used to use that all the time.
Yeah, I use the heart.
Yeah, dude, heart all the way.
Turn the game.
That's a great idea. I wouldn't assume that it would be too difficult to implement neither.
No, it's definitely not.
That'll be fun.
So, do you guys got anything more to say on anything in Act 2, or do you think we're ready to go on to Act 3?
Dude, I'm so ready for Act 3. I've been dreaming about this.
I'll leave it up to you. I'll leave it up to you. We usually do take a little 5-10 minute break, somewhere in between there. Do you want to take a break, or do you want to keep going?
Yeah, let's take a break.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a 5-minute break. Before we take the break, I gotta do the plug on the giveaway. Fault Hub Network has a giveaway, guys. We're gonna have the link come up there in the chat. It gives you 2 master packs to Fault. Click the link in the chat, and it'll take you to the directions on how to get there. And we're gonna do a little 5-minute break. I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna put a timer on, and everyone, we'll be back.
Go stretch. Go take
in a second.
Walk.
So why is it so hard to let you go? To let you go. So why is it so hard to let you go? To let you go. So why is it so hard to let you go? Let you go. it so hard to let you got enough of every melody, they all sound the same. Yeah, for my broken heart, no remedy, but maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. Oh, my darkest memories, now let me fall back. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. We can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good. Yeah. What's on the other side of inhibition? Ooh, I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so cool.
All of his intros for like 2 hours straight.
Yo, 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 yo. Everyone there?
Hey.
We're here.
Let's get this
Yo,
rolling.
Yo.
Hey, what a flippity flop, though. This is Stranger or Big Moose. And we're here at Faultarian Journal, the Britik stream, here on the Fault Hub Network. Guys, thank you for everyone in the chat, and thank you for everyone that's been listening. This is super fantastic. Thank you again to Britik and Norweginator, and of course, Stephen Chandler. I love you guys. You guys are my best friends. Thanks for being here, as always. And guys, we're here with Act 3. And in Act 3, we're calling content creation. It's going to go a bit off topic, and now that I'm looking at it, but we got expectations, some rambling about just whatever, some EA soon or soon TM, and we also have a Q&A at the end there. And guys, if you haven't go follow Britik on Twitch and YouTube, what are you doing? You guys gotta go follow. You guys gotta go follow BritikHD on Twitch, BritikHD on Twitter, BritikHD on all socials. He is the man that will give you the news and the guides as well when it comes to fall.
Also, I've been doing daily Paragon memes on Twitter. We're really close to 1.7K followers. So if you could help me out and go over there and hit the follow button, never use Twitter ever again, that's fine. That'll help me out.
1.7K on Twitter? Britik.
And guys, for
Look
anyone
at you going, man.
anyone that doesn't know, this here, we're calling ourselves the Fault Hub Network. It's me, Balix, and Gorian that are doing it. And we're going to be doing all the news on Fault, everything you want to know. We got a website, we got a Twitter, we got all that stuff. We write news articles. We're going to be doing more shows. We're currently looking for a few more shows. So if you guys ever have an idea, send me a DM. Send Stranger DM. Don't send Balix a DM. He gets 98 a day. Send me a DM. Okay? And yeah. And again, I got to plug the giveaway. We got a giveaway for 2 Fault Master Packs. We got a link that'll show up in the description, and just click that link and it'll take you to the giveaway. And let's see if I can do it before they can.
Listen. If you're not following this channel right now, just do it. It's free. Come on. What are you doing?
Yeah, where did your parents go wrong? You should be following this already.
I'm too slow. And guys, just one more other thing. If you guys have any gameplay from Alpha 3, Alpha 2, Alpha 1, whatever it may be for Fault, even just a compilation of clips, I'd love to show some fresh gameplay for these journals.
You know, I got some beef with you there, Stranger. You still haven't put up that clip of me destroying you.
Actually, that's never going on stream.
No, I object. If everybody who's with me, if you want to see that, I want you to put it in chat right now. I believe the people who are with me. We all want to see it.
Everyone in chat.
To break into Stranger's house and steal his computer. So I am easily persuaded, but I need outside forces.
I'll buy you a pizza. I'll have a pizza delivered to your house if you do it.
I remember hearing these words come out of Stranger's mouth that he's trying to be better than all the current Fault testers.
No. The majority of them. I said the majority. So
seeing him get dunked on would be really funny, to be honest. And then again, it's not that hard to witness that. I'm sure it happens pretty often.
I mean, I'm saying about what I said. You give me 48 hours of in-time gameplay, I'm going to be better than half the testers, period. Not even another look back.
Britik, I realized I have some beef with you as well.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Let's go. Let's cook this beef. Let's go.
You know what rank you are on the Fault website? You're 72.
Yeah. So.
You know what I am?
What?
73.
Okay.
I'm coming for you. You're my target.
You're talking about an arbitrary leaderboard and
I don't want to hear any of that. All I know.
The fact that you find this so prideful is just all the explanation I need.
All I know is that I'm one behind you.
This reminds me of when I did play Call of Duty semi-professionally and competitively, and like I had like gold trophies and stuff, and people were flexing their league play rank to me. I'm like, that means nothing to me. That literally means nothing to me. You have no cash earnings.
That's it. You and
Don't
me.
even talk to me. I had an ego. I'm not gonna lie. I had that Call of Duty ego.
You and me, one-on-one in Fault. It's official now.
I mean, if they let's do it. I want to watch it. I'll cast it, actually. How's that sound?
Oh, that's my job. I'll play and cast and still win.
Casting done.
Ooh, that's pretty good. I believe it. So, guys, we're going into our last act there now. And our first topic, we're going to talk about expectations. And why I wanted to, and we already kind of mentioned a little bit, but why I wanted to bring this up is because I want to make sure that everyone understands what we should expect for early access from Britik's point of view, essentially. Britik, what do you hope for with Fault? What would be your dream thing for early access compared to what we should expect?
Damn, dude. Are you trying to get me to leak something right now? Is that what's going on?
Try. You gonna give us something?
I mean...
No, you don't have to go into details. Like, just go off of what's off the Trello page. Go off of what's on the Trello. How's that sound?
But that's not as fun, you know?
Yeah.
Let's just leak something.
Yeah, dude, screw it.
You gotta trick Britik's rubber arm to get him.
I'm just kidding. What to expect from early access? My hopes, my goals, is that Well, hopefully Sparrow isn't broken, like super broken, and
Yo,
I'm
her
sure we'll get
stats on that
tested before
website
early
though.
access.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
scales.
We'll test her out before then, so I'm sure Sparrow will be tweaked a bit before early access comes out. But I hope, my biggest hope is that the game at least has that feedback that I was mentioning to it. I think that's really important. I think that was, again, one of the two biggest turnoffs to people when they were playing in the alpha was the UI, the HUD, like just lacking those polishing, that polish, and then feedback, gameplay feedback. I think they nail those two things. Then the rest of the gameplay speaks for itself already. It's going to be a lot of fun. The servers, I mean, it seems like after all those alpha tests, they've kind of tightened down the hatches on the servers. They know what they're doing with the servers, so we shouldn't hopefully have any more crazy issues with those, like in the first closed alpha test. Oh man, that was a scary sight, but they fixed it quick, and that was phenomenal. So I don't expect to see any issues with the servers. Knock on wood. Hope that stays the case, but. Yeah, no, those are my two biggest gripes, and I hope they address those and at least make some sort of change when it comes to early access that people can visibly see. And like you said, leave that good first impression, because it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just has to be good enough to, entice people, to keep people interested, to grab their attention and be like, hey, this is pretty cool. I might, even if you don't get some buyers, if you at least grab their attention and be like, I'm going to take another look in a couple of months and see where it's at, that's already way better than the alternative. So yeah, I think it's that would be best case scenario, and I hope that's where we start at the very least. I don't expect, obviously there's not going to be a ranked mode at the very beginning. There's probably not going to be like anything too crazy out of the ordinary that's different from what you're seeing here on the screen right now. Is just things are going to be much nicer and polished up and feel good, and you're going to want to play this game every day. You hang out with your friends and play it every day. This can be like your new nightly thing. And even when I was playing the game like this, I can speak for all the testers when we say we want the tests back. Like, we miss it. We definitely want to get back in and play some more, because we just have fun. Even when we're playing like a buggier version of the game, we still have a lot of fun playing it. We still enjoy it. So yeah, it's that Paragon fix. It just feels good, and I think that's what we need.
100%.
I said it before. I would have paid for the game as it was in the first alpha. I would have paid for it and just played it happily. But yeah, as for what to expect, this is to everybody listening. Do not expect a finished game. Do not expect this to look like Paragon. This will be a good indication of how much that they can get done if they're given the time and the space to do so, and what they can accomplish, and basically if they're taking a step in the right direction or in the wrong direction.
What I expect / hope. This is what I expect. Animations be slightly smoother, because some of them were kind of scuffed.
They did talk about that, yeah.
Their item shop is going to be slightly better. We're just going to have more variety, that's really it.
Have they talked about adding items for early access?
Yeah, they have. I do believe, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that.
I think so.
But
what else? I hope the map looks better.
That's something I would expect personally.
Yeah, that's really it.
I mean, I don't know, but I hope so.
Nah. They Sylphin did talk about it in the dev stream, in the last dev stream, that they do plan on changing some things about the map.
He did also specifically mention jungle as well, and some changes with raptors, I believe.
I remember Sylphin teasing me about big raptors for like 2 months, bro. 2 months. Every time you see my name in the chat, big raptors, man. I'll be like, what's that? Yeah, Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that means, but what I'm hoping, at least, is we're gonna see a raptor evolve into a fangtooth. So that kind of like how in League of Legends they have elder dragons. So after you kill a certain amount, elder dragons spawn. Kind of like how in Smite the Gold Fury turns into the Oni Fury and whatever the other one's called. Stuff like that.
Raptors turning into Orb Prime.
The question for the ages: big raptors? Question mark.
Fangtooth? Question mark.
Only seen that once or twice.
We've done this whole journal. Wait, this is months ago now. I remember a second journal we ever did. We spent over an hour and a half just talking about big raptors and all the different possibilities.
I'm pretty sure that was an hour and a half of you talking to yourself.
I had some theories in there too. Big raptors.
Wait. But I thought this was the second ever journal. It says it in the title.
Second ever journal on Fault Hub Network is what we should say.
Back in the OG.
Congratulations on the promotion.
We're gonna rebrand. Just give it some time.
Let me answer that question, that big raptors question. What it should be a little tiny baby raptor to begin with, and every time you kill it, it gets twice as big. And at some point, it just takes up half the map.
Ah, yes, the cycle of life.
That's what I want to see. I want to see evolution in real time.
Literally, you know what I just want to see? I just want to see one raptor, once you kill 8 of them in total or something, they just start running down mid lane. And they evolve.
Yeah.
I'm
like to see that.
You have a raptor growth totem. Put it in the game. Clip it and ship it right now.
Raptor Rush. Ooh, that's a cool name. Now I really want to see it, actually. Raptor Rush.
It's a new game mode.
Yeah. No, but to get it back to serious there, guys, we've mentioned it at least twice already. Don't expect a finished, polished game when early access comes out. It's early access for a reason. That's what happens. And
Epic had bajillions of dollars. SMS do not.
Yeah. And how long was H1Z1 and Fortnite in early access? It was years, right?
Years, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because early access, it's that's when they get stuff done. That's when they're saying there might be a bug.
Fortnite is still in beta because on console, when your game is in beta, it allows you to push patches out faster. There's no like extra verification step that you have to do for full-fledged games. So Fortnite's just been sitting in that category just to get around that so they can push out patches quicker.
Yeah.
And with less stringently from Sony.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That's a good reason. That's actually quite smart, to be honest. Yeah.
I'm assuming for PS5 they'll change up those requirements a little bit, hopefully.
Steven Chandler, what are your guys' expectations as someone that has not been able to play any of the alpha weekends? What do you guys expect coming into early access?
All right,
to be able to play the game. That's my biggest expectation.
Give a big guess to what I'm expecting.
Well, Crunch isn't in the game, so
being in silver.
You didn't ask me what my realistic expectations were. You asked me what I'm expecting.
That's on you, stranger.
The Crunch Shadow drop, okay? And Muriel skins.
Not happening. Revenant is the first character to come. I guarantee you, because he's awesome looking.
He's not the first.
I have confirmation from the developers. They're actually holding off on Crunch just because of you. He's already finished. They just don't want to release him.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
I kind of assumed, but I ain't gonna stop. They're not gonna make me stop. I want my man's Crunch. I spent like a very decent chunk of my life.
You mean you're a one trick? That's what you were.
Hey,
you have a no. That's called a relationship. He has a relationship with this robot, and that's respectable.
About that robot, all right?
It's 2020, man. You do you.
I know some people who've had relationships with robots, and they're all weird.
Don't talk about him like that. Essay's a good man.
I just said I know some people with that had in
Does his
relationships
name-
with robots.
Does his
And they were
name
weird.
rhyme
I don't
with
know anything
that
about
does-
essay.
does his name rhyme with eeks?
They're walking home and say, "Honey, I'm home."
No comment.
They come home after work and say,
No
"Honey,
comment.
I'm home," and the Roomba pops out.
No, I'm thinking.
Hey, baby.
I'm thinking of a different kind of robot.
The toaster. Yeah.
I don't ever see that
100%.
movie,
Yeah, of course.
I, Robot, with Will Smith, where the robots take over the world.
Don't tell me you're attracted to them, stranger. I don't want to hear that.
Well, guys, it was nice knowing you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Going back, legitimate. What my expectations are. I don't know. I keep hearing the whole don't expect Paragon. This is early access and all that kind of stuff. It's been mentioned a few times in the stream. I've said it a bunch in past journals. Even this footage right here that we're looking at. Honestly, if I was told this was the final game, I'd be like, okay, makes sense. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Considering it's a startup company, I'd be like, sweet, can I buy it? Like, because
I 100% agree. I just don't see that sentiment with a lot of other people, though.
I mean, and I might anger some people from saying this, but I mean, and it's just a hot take, personal hot take. But some people have devoted their lives to a game like Minecraft. Okay, a literal geometric game that looks like ass, and people love it. Okay, so that game is huge.
Hey, Minecraft is beautiful.
And then you look at this. I don't know. It can't go wrong with the assets. You know what I mean?
If it's a fun game, it's a fun game.
Yeah. So I'm expecting what I'm seeing here, and so it's just the fact that they're saying there's going to be a HUD change. There's going to be other things that haven't been really announced. Even if the EA was this gameplay, I'd be like, sick. I mean, the game's coming out next year. This is awesome. But the fact that it could potentially look better than this, I don't know what people are like. I don't know. It's I'm just expecting to have a ton of fun and to play one of my favorite games of all time again after getting
one thing I
$200 stolen from me.
One thing I did forget to mention, I want to see a new UI and HUD. I want to see it. I want to see that. That would be awesome if I loaded up the game and I just see something beautiful. That right there, I'm playing it. I'm playing a game. You know what I mean? Well, I'll play a game either way, to be honest. But
I get what you mean.
Yeah, and I remember I was watching your stream, Britik. I was in there, and I remember you saying something about just how important the UI and HUD are, and yeah,
I mentioned it on this podcast as well.
Yeah, it's super important. Yeah, I just want to, because right now it's definitely a placeholder menu, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah, it definitely looks like an alpha. You can tell it's an alpha. All right, what's
a real good looking alpha?
Man, how about Richter, huh? Can't wait till he's released.
Oh,
I know there's a couple people who want Richter out. There's also a couple people that want Crunch out, not just Essay. There are a lot of people who do want Crunch as well.
It might be in EA. We don't know what heroes are coming in EA. We know there's more coming in.
I want to see Richter so bad. I haven't seen my boy in so long.
Man, I really hope that Richter is in early access.
Yeah, and if only somebody had some inside information, that would be cool.
That would just be so incredible, wouldn't it?
Do you guys notice Britik talking strange at all? You all right there, buddy?
The only strange one here is Stranger. It's in his name.
I'm Stranger,
I do always sound funny. That's true.
Nah, you sound wonderful.
You sound beautiful, Britik.
I mean, his name is Edumacation, so who's the one? The last one now, to be honest. That's a nice Twitch Prime you got over there. You should use it somewhere.
Chandler, what do you?
Can you tell where they could use that, Britik? Where's the best place to leave your Twitch Prime at for good care?
Am I allowed to?
BritikHD. Okay.
Yeah, Twitch.tv/BritikHD.
Yeah.
My Twitch Prime's on Rhythm. Rhythm's a good guy. Yeah, he's my buddy. I'm glad you play Crucible. That's hard for me to stream that game.
What was that? What was I saying? Chandler, what do you expect going into early access?
Well, it's just from what I've seen, the developers definitely seem to hold themselves to a very high standard. So that's definitely why we've seen delays. It's the reason why they're trying to do their absolute best to keep us engaged and like make the best game possible. Like I've had my rants in the past about first impressions and whatnot, and like making sure that the game transcends Paragon. Like we all want this to be its own game. Like yes, it's using assets, but making it into its own product that people can be passionate about. And like you just seeing these communities before early access is even out is, I think, the biggest telling sign of like what's to come, because there's already that many people who are getting behind this project based on promises, based on screenshots, stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it's super exciting to be get into the game. Like I remember playing Paragon, and it was just a game for me to play to relax, to wind down from my day. So to be able to have that back in my life is definitely the most exciting thing. And just like obviously visuals is a big thing, because it's like any MOBA, yeah, you can just play that, but Paragon and now with Fault, it's definitely just the overall look that I'm kind of getting mind.
You know what just came to my mind? That made me think, because remember how I was saying earlier, like gameplay is whatever, more important, whatever. One thing that I can think where maybe graphics might actually be even more important. I still don't think it is, but would you guys agree that the graphics in Paragon and Fault is a part of the niche that the game has?
Well, I think
yes.
I think because it just stands out from Smite so much. You know what I mean?
Good.
Like it just like
the game looks great.
It just looks I mean that's why a lot of people started playing it. I mean, I looked at it and I'm like, oh dude, that's beautiful. Like I want to, and it's very immersive because of that. And I 100% agree with you, dude. It's not all about the graphics, but I think it is the style, the art style that is just complemented so well by being just having higher graphical fidelity. So it's a lot of people are here because of the graphics, because for lack of a better word, pretty things make me go haha, you know. I don't know how much
I think it's a big part of the pull on why people initially come in. Obviously, people stay for the gameplay, but it markets itself if it looks good, right? Like you see it and you go, wow, that looks like an amazing game that people have put tons of work into. I want to see what that's about. It looks professional.
Oh, I'm so excited for the game. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Anywho, moving on to the next point. Well, the ramble thing, we're gonna kind of ignore it, and if you ramble, we ramble. That's kind of thing. We kind of already did a little bit, but when I say ramble, that's just when we're shooting the shit, is essentially what I mean.
Excuse me?
That's not very professional language of you, stranger.
Hey, shut the
I'm shooting what?
There is no shooting is tolerated here. This is a PG stream.
Especially not some poopy.
Balix in the
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Anywho, so I wanted to talk about early access, soon or soon TM. That's a very clickbaity way of putting it. But, what I mean by that is when we say soon, that means like, when is the game coming out? When someone says soon to me, I'm thinking, oh yeah, and within the next month kind of thing. Let's say
Late June, early July.
soon TM. But when I hear the word soon TM, besides it being just like a meme in the folk community, it feels like it's a way of saying it should be soon, but we can't guarantee it's soon. If that makes any sense.
If I was a betting man, and if early access does not plan on being delayed further, which I hope it is not, because that's not going to be a pretty look. Good news is that they haven't really announced a solid date, so it's a little flexible. But assuming it's not going to be delayed again, I would put money on testing the game next week. I think we get back into testing next week, sometime next week.
That'd be awesome.
I think that is the most educated guess. See what I did there? At this point,
No.
I think if that's just my guess.
All right, now let's say you're not a betting man.
I know that you can't give any sort of guarantee.
Yeah. And I'm of the opinion, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me. And at first, so when I first heard it, when it first got delayed, and I'm talking the tentative pushback for anyone that was there for the early access release, and then it got delayed to exactly 14 days on April 25th for May 8th, the early access. I was very upset. I think I was upset more so that I had to stay at home every day because of this thing, but I've adjusted now. But at the time, because I was so bored, like that really meant a lot to me. But now that we're here, now that it's June 10th, if they delayed the game again another 3 months, I don't think it's going to hurt the game as much as people think it is. Because as Britik said earlier in the stream here, once the game is out and if it plays well, people are going to forget about all this. Because it's just so.
Yeah. And I want to comment since chat's talking about Crucible a little bit. For the most part, Crucible and Fault have no correlation whatsoever. It's not the same market. A lot of the people that did enjoy Paragon did not enjoy Crucible. And I think that if you like Crucible, you'll keep playing it. But I don't think that people are going to just forget about Fault because they love Crucible too much. Like, they're probably going to forget about everything if they love Crucible too much, right? It's not just like one game. They're not competitors, is what I'm trying to say. So, and to Stranger's point, if it is delayed again, yeah, it's not the end of the world. I'm just saying that this is their chance to build a lot of momentum, especially, again, everyone's inside because we still got a global pandemic going on, and it's summer, right? So everyone's out of school anyways. It's good. It's just an opportune moment, especially when you are kind of sorta in a low-key race to console. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're first on console if your game's bad and no one decides to play it, but you also don't want to be too late to console either. Mm-hmm. And finding that sweet spot, it's gonna be a challenge for sure. And what Mike said is if you delay again, you are kind of losing more and more trust. Slowly but surely, you're losing more and more trust. And people got burned so bad by Epic the first time that they don't have much trust to give around. So
yeah,
you do have to be really, really careful about that.
Yeah, and that is true.
No, I have sort of a hypothetical question for you, Britik. I know you can't guarantee anything one way or another, but I'm just curious what the general timeline looks like when you guys when you start testing a patch. What's the timeline there? How long do you guys usually figure out all the kinks and they move on and they go, okay, yeah, we're good. We've tested this patch.
They move insanely fast. And to Strange Matter Studios' credit, they don't put out ridiculously buggy builds. It's not like if they patch a bug, you usually don't see it resurfacing. There was a couple times where you did have a bug that would resurface because they patched something else, but
The
then
backing bug, the infamous
they would
backing
patch
bug.
it back. Yeah, like it's they're very consistent in patching it, and it takes a couple days. Actually, a couple days. Like as after in the first day, Fresher, Jester, and the rest of the team help them are working on the next patch as we speak. We just kind of we keep testing the old build as they work on the new build. So as things come up, they can just patch it as they're working on the new build. It's very efficient. And usually
I remember
it's not
that.
too crazy. Like the only time that things do take a second or two longer is when you have like big patches. Like when they introduced all the passives into the characters, that took a little bit longer to make sure that nothing was broken out of the ordinary. And they don't take much time to balance.
I know
initially.
when,
they just balance.
when-
They just balance a little later down the line, like as they go.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Oh, you have to excuse me if I'm cutting somebody off. The chat keeps cutting in and out for me, so I'm not sure if somebody's talking or not.
That's all right. That's all right.
But I know for early access, they are introducing quite a lot of changes. We've already had developers say, expect some big stuff, including Sparrow's going to be in there for the first time. So I'm wondering if is that gonna when you guys start testing that, are we looking at a week or two or a month or two?
I'd say, I mean, we're gonna test a lot. Like all the testers are really eager to get back into the game, and so and we've been saying this to them too. Like if you guys are planning on adding a whole new character into the game, you guys are planning on balancing all that stuff because Boris took a while to play around with, and he's in a bad spot right now currently. Like he's not even quote unquote meta in the tester games. So even if that is the case with Sparrow, if she's not totally completely balanced, it's not the end of the world. We just have to make sure that nothing's broken about her. We need to make sure that her abilities are doing damage. We need to make sure they're scaling right. We need to make sure that
because numbers can be tweaked.
Right. Yeah, all that can be tweaked as you go along. The most important thing is that the game works. There aren't bugs. It's fun to play. And if something's a little overtuned, then it's a little overtuned. They'll get to it next week. It's not the balancing is not the priority at this moment in time. It's about making the game work, making sure there's no bugs, making sure it's fun to play.
Yeah.
So as Doctor Strange once said, we're in the end game.
No, we're in the early access.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But in terms of everybody who's been waiting, we're getting close.
It takes like a day or two to find bugs with items and characters because everyone just plays all the characters. We just get into these games that are very chill, and we're like, okay, everyone just make sure you use all your abilities this game. Make sure you buy these items that will increase this stat. Make sure you're paying attention to the numbers. Are they scaling? Stuff like that. That usually takes a day or two because, I mean, at this point, Strange Matter Studios has their ish together, and it's not like anything crazy gets broken or out of the loop. Like if you already knew this item worked, then it's probably going to work the next day too. But when it comes to balancing, that usually comes in time when we're playing on the older builds, as I'm saying. Like we're playing on the older builds while they're making the new build. And maybe after like a week of playing or 5 days of playing on the older build, we start recognizing like, hey, like, man, Sparrow is just really, really stronger than Twin Blast. Like she needs to be tuned down, or Sevarog is just really nutty with these items. It will go a little faster now that we are approaching early access, I reckon, because they want to make sure that we are spending as much time as possible on the newest possible patch, so we can make sure that everything is spick and spam, even the tiniest bugs are found. And we're probably going to miss some bugs, honestly. Like we're not perfect, and you're probably going to see some stuff in early access, and that's the whole point of early access. And you'll probably find things that are only possible because there are so many people playing at the same time. And that's kind of what the whole point of the closed alphas was. And now it's super important that the servers crashed on that first closed alpha, because now the servers are better than ever because of that. Like they learned from their mistake, right? So it's a good thing that happened. And so it might not happen to that extent. Hopefully in early access, you'll be able to play it more in a more stable spot. But
Yeah.
you know, if they're passionate. So
I get this long spiel in my head right now. So I got a part 1 and part 2 to this. So part 1, what I was thinking for a little bit, and I've talked about this. I don't know if I've talked about it on stream, but I've definitely talked about it off stream. One thing that kind of started to get worried into me is I feel like when you're a dev, so like if Fault's their baby kind of thing, there's always going to be something that can be better. Even when everyone, even if it's at a 90% Rotten Tomatoes, it can make it to 100. You know what I mean? And so I feel like for a while there, I was thinking maybe they might start feeling like as long as they keep finding issues, they're going to keep pushing it back kind of thing. And I don't believe that to be the case. But I watched this inside dev thing about the game Cupman, if anyone knows that game. And they were talking about how they had a release date. Let's say it was May 8th. 1 week before the game was about to come out, they found a bug. They found a glitch in the game. They knew about the glitch, but they didn't have time to patch it. The game still got shipped out May 8th. The next patch that came out, of course, they fixed that glitch. And what was beautiful about it for a game like that, now that's not a MOBA at all, so this part won't really matter to a MOBA. But for anyone that speedruns Cupman, they use that glitch, so they play the original version of Cupman because it's patched after that. So because of this little thing that they knew about but didn't have time to patch, it actually elevated the game for a lot of people, which is actually kind of incredible. Now, this is a MOBA. We're not going to see no speedrunning going on, but it makes me think back to League of Legends when League of Legends originally came out. They didn't know that there was going to be crashing waves, freezing a wave. They didn't know all of that stuff. They like actively talked about it. Like that was just stuff that just, and some of it was like quote unquote glitches that just happened to be in the game, and they ended up being mechanics and macro plays and micro plays as well that actually just elevated the gaming experience. And that's actually something, I know that's like really weird, but that's something I'm actually really excited for when early access comes out. Is just try to meet your time frame if you can, unless there's something crazy. And if you got a little bug, you know, patch it in the next patch. But sometimes stuff like that is really important. And a game like, I talked about this with Sockcat before, I can see about Super Smash Bros. Melee. So what's something I know? Wave dashing is a glitch. But like, imagine if wave dashing didn't exist in Super Smash Bros.
Did you know
Melee.
wave dashing wasn't a glitch? Sorry to correct you, but it was actually, yeah, Sakurai himself, when Melee first came out, went on the message boards and actually talked about it. It was intended. He just didn't know it could be used so effectively. He thought it was like you do it like once or twice here or there, but the way he intended it wasn't how it was used. The community found better uses for it than he ever could have imagined.
Yeah, I think that glitches are fine as long as they're not game breaking.
Yeah, if they're game breaking, then that's crazy.
As long as they're not abusable. So, for example, like Deathcrawler Grux, for example, right? Like that is not supposed to be. It was working as intended. Yeah, like that's not actually how it was supposed to be, and we all knew that. So
that wasn't even planned. That's just me and Britik in sync.
If it's like a glitch in the map or a glitch with the waves or the minions, like and that's probably gonna happen on both sides. So it's all equal anyway. Like as long as things are equal, that's fine, because MOBAs are very competitive games, and if you mess with the competitive integrity of any of it, then people are gonna get really frustrated. Like if the other person's able to do something that you can't, that's messing with the competitive integrity, and that's not gonna be a fun experience. So glitches are fine.
To an extent, right?
If there's a glitch, yeah, to an extent. If there's a glitch where you get clipped in the map and you're in this, heated team fight and you're trying to run away, but you get stuck in the map because you ran into the glitch spot and you die because of it, you're going to be really pissed about it, right? Like you would need that stuff to be patched ASAP, Rocky. But if it's like a funny little glitch where minions are running backwards instead of forwards, I don't think, I think that'd be cute, right? It's not the end of the world.
Well,
you just patch it next time.
there was someone telling me about a glitch in Dota 2 actually, and it ended up being used in Worlds. And it's like now you only have like a 1 frame to do it, so like no one actually used it in competitive. They only did it because they were losing, and it was like a last ditch effort. But it won them the game. And the glitch is, I don't know exactly how the character works, but long story short, they pull you like Richter, but there's a glitch that as you're pulling them, you can back, and if you have the right timing, you can back and pull them into your spawn so that they immediately die. And like it's so frame perfect that they couldn't do that in competitive. Like no people knew about it, but no one actually did it. But then it ended up actually happening in Worlds because it was literally try this glitch or they lost. And like that was a huge moment. That's like that was a huge moment in Dota 2. And like the crowd went nuts, and it only elevated the gameplay. Like it's little stuff like that was actually really cool.
I mean, I don't think that should be allowed, but that's pretty crazy from a spectator's point, though. But if I'll tell you, if I was a competitor on the other team, I would be pissed.
Yeah, but when you're playing on like 120 frames and it's a 1 frame perfect trick, like when you're not really gonna hit it like ever, for the most part.
Yeah, but that means that they won on a roulette, right? And one that isn't balanced. It's literally a glitch.
That's true.
So I'm not sure. But yeah, no, I can imagine from a spectator, though. That must have been crazy, especially if that was your team that were, like, behind, and then that happens. I'd be losing my mind.
Just get better RNG, dude.
Yeah, could be that. Yeah, but just, like, if there was something like that, and that stuff's going to get patched, right? Like, to keep the integrity of the game, that stuff is going to get patched out. That's not what I'm saying. It needs to get patched. But if they released early access on, and there just happened to be a glitch that was frame perfect like that people could use until the next patch, that'd be kind of cool. I think it'd be kind of cool, to be honest.
Yes. Speaking of expectations for early access, I am expecting bugs or glitches or visual problems. Like I'm definitely expecting things like that. And like you said, it can even build character. You know, it'll be a fun little experience that just the people that are here for the beginning get to see.
Yeah, 100%. And guys, so we're down to the last, official 6 minutes of the journal. So I just wanted to throw it there. We got a Q&A. If you guys have any questions that we haven't been able to answer so far, and you have just random stuff you'd like to ask your idol Britik, or Norweginator, your Strange Matter Studios mod, or me, Swole,
Junior mod,
or Reed, this is the time to ask.
You have access to our unlimited knowledge now. We literally know everything.
Yeah, not a scam. I think that I just want to mention Overprime, since people are bringing it up in the chat anyways. If you like Overprime, play Overprime. It's definitely scratching an itch for a lot of people, and
sure.
It's the only thing that's playable right now on the market. So play it if you want to play it, for sure. I personally have enjoyed Fault much more than I have enjoyed Overprime, and I just can't wait for Fault to come out in early access.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, I'm there with you, Britik. It might just be a personal opinion, but I've played both games, and I do have a preference for sure.
But hey, if you like it, I mean, it's all about having fun, right? If you're having fun, go for it.
We talked earlier in the podcast about hating on other projects, and there's really just no point in doing it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And that's just kind of the end of it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's okay. I'm just gonna say this now. Like, as stranger, if someone came into my chat and started hating, they probably wouldn't be in chat very long, in my opinion, because I'm not trying to deal
and
with
see,
that.
that's why
That's
I'm a
a direct
fantastic
threat.
streamer, because I allow freedom of speech in my chat, and you should come over to
Yeah,
mine.
No.
This
I
is
will let you
America,
say-
stranger.
I
This
will
is
let you
America.
say what you want to say, and I will let the rest of chat roast you for being an ignorant asshole if you really want to try and do that. I will destroy you with facts and logic like Ben Shapiro, okay? You can actually get wrecked 7 ways to Sunday, bro. I will actually take the gloves off and spread those cheeks with a
This is not Socialist Canada. That's all I'm going to say. We're allowed to speak our opinion here, stranger.
No, I'm gonna have to reword it because okay. Listen, if you come in have an opinion, whatever. But if you start coming in blatantly ignorant and toxic, well, it's different, right?
If you come into my stream doing that, you'll get made fun of.
Yeah. Or I could do that, or I could just let the chat roast them. But then it gets all toxic. I don't know.
I think it's a case by case basis.
What do you mean? That's free entertainment, bro. You got a troll in your chat. Now you have someone to single out, and then the rest of the chat just dog piles.
That's literally.
So are you kidding me? And then this guy's trying to like bring you down, and you're like, "Hey, chat, how about you subscribe and donate to me to make this troll feel bad about himself?" And then you get money out of it too. It's actually the best ploy, bro. Streamer 101. Streamer 101. These kids are easy money.
We're learning.
You know what? Maybe you're right.
Maybe I'll have something, Britik. Maybe I'll have something.
Maybe you're right, Britik. Maybe I'm too. Nah, fuck that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was about to say that's the difference between Canada and America, but that's what I like to see.
No. Yeah, maybe I'm like no.
Let the hate flow through you.
It all depends. It really is on case basis. I probably shouldn't have said nothing, but we're here now. So
what is the time frame? What is the time frame on a PS4 release? We don't know. I'm saying late 2021.
Quarter one of 2021 is the tentative release date, but that can and in my opinion probably will be changed. I don't have any inside information except for what's on the Trello.
Well, that's not on PS4 though, is it? That's only PC, right? Full launch.
Oh, you're right. You're
talking about console.
Yeah,
I'd say console later than that.
I think console.
That's my mistake.
Pretty late.
Yeah. So for console, I think all they said is that they want to shoot for next year. That's it.
Yeah. Because they got to make it work on PC before they make it work on console.
They do. That is 100% of their focus right now. Maybe 99% of their focus. It's all just about getting it on PC.
Yeah. So, guys, if you have any questions, this is your chance.
Ask us anything. Ask us where we live.
The more
Britik has so many secrets, and he legally now has to answer any of them that you ask.
I actually will. Like anything that I'm not under NDA for, I will answer.
The more questions you ask, the longer the stream goes at this point.
He's gonzo. This is your one chance.
You can ask me about my girlfriends or something. I don't care.
If we don't start seeing questions soon, I'm just going to start singing.
Where do you live, Britik?
I live in California, USA. Northern California, to be exact.
NorCal.
And since I mentioned this in the past on my stream, I live in Stockton, California. So if you know where that is, you can come to my fan meetup. You'll be the only one.
How tall are you?
I am 5'5".
I'm so sorry to hear that, Britik.
Well, got you into Paragon. I watched a Counter-Strike streamer known as Josh OG play it one time, and I thought it was the sickest thing ever. So I went to the PlayStation Store and downloaded it and played it and fell in love. What are the changes coming in the next patch?
Let's answer Meeks.
Sparrow and map rework. Do you communicate with Sylphin much in regards to faults? He mostly communicates with me, LOL.
In fact, he exclusively only communicates with Britik. That's how we get stuff done.
I am 5'5". This is actually an unfortunate fact that I wish I could change.
No. That's cool, man. That's cool.
Oh, that's perfect. You fit it right in my little pocket, Britik. It's cute.
Dude, I'm taller than you. What the heck?
Yeah, but you're not swaggier than me.
Why'd you gotta bring that up, man? Man, come on. Man.
What is being changed in the map? No comment. What's the best advice?
Stilston has talked about jungle changes and raptor changes. He's hinted at it, but no specifics.
What's the best advice for a streamer starting up?
Best advice for a streamer starting up? Just love it, dude. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to swear. Just love it, bro. Just love it, okay? Just enjoy what you do and just be consistent and grind. And actually, here's some useful information, because you can be as consistent as you want and have a schedule. That's important as well. But find what makes you you and own it and go 150% on it. It doesn't matter if it's cringe. It doesn't matter if it's dad jokes. It doesn't matter if it's being like Tyler One and just yelling all the time. Okay. So it just be yourself and just go full force, because if you're trying to be like other people, it's not going to work, because those other people are probably already more established than you are. So what are you bringing to the table that's different from them? Nothing. Okay. Nothing. Just be yourself and actually just do it, and do it well. Like, yeah, you do want to network. You do want to try and get to know the people that will open the right doors for you, which honestly, I could be better at doing that for sure. But definitely, like, be sociable, reach out, and for the love of everything holy, no matter how successful you get or how big you get, do not grow a ridiculous ego. You can feel good about yourself. You can, feel confident about yourself. Those are two different things, right? You could be your own best friend for sure, but do not turn somebody down because they have less subscribers than you or something, or don't run away from a collab because it's someone who is smaller than you. Yeah. Okay. If you vibe with the person, if you enjoy their content, and it's it's on brand with you and it works for you, then just do it and just spread your wings wide and just be ready to keep your nose down and grind, because it's going to take a really, really long time. It's a super saturated market right now. You just got to try your best. And if you're just starting up, also try to start up streaming niche games. Don't stream Fortnite. Everyone's playing Fortnite. Don't stream Warzone. Everybody's playing Warzone. Unless you're actually ridiculous and you're the next Prodigy and you're winning every single tournament back to back to back to back to back, then yeah, you can stream those big games, right? People are going to want to watch that because, oh my God, you're insane. They want to watch you, right? But if you don't have any crazy, unbelievable gaming talents, then you gotta make your personality shine, and you can do that starting with smaller communities that you can build to become very strong, that will carry over into other games when you do decide to stream other games. And also make a YouTube channel, make a Twitter, grow your communities there, and bring them over from those socials over on Twitch, because Twitch is not an easy platform to grow on. You're not very discoverable on Twitch. Okay?
Just do it.
I hope you're writing this stuff down. That was a lot.
Okay. Britik, I'm just going to bullet some questions at you.
Go for it.
The chat said. What about the speed of the game? And how long is the average game time?
Average game time, 30 to 45 minutes, which is perfect in my opinion. I love it. You can end it faster if you know what you're doing. I like the speed of the game. Once you get boots on it, I think it's fine. I don't find an issue with it currently as it stands.
Okay. When's the game coming out?
The game coming out early access, late June, early July, full release planned for 2021.
Sounds good. Have you seen any skins that we haven't?
You and quiet.
No comment.
No comment.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
No comment always means yes.
Are you gonna make more content before the game comes out?
Yes.
Okay. Is there tower jumping in Fault?
Define tower jumping.
You jump on the map to kill someone. Jump under tower.
It's a calculated risk in mid-to-late game.
You mean tower diving?
Yeah, that thing.
Or tower juggling, like juggling tower aggro?
Both.
Or both. Okay. Yes, there is tower diving. Yes, you can juggle aggro if you're good enough, but you do have to build for it.
Okay. Is the Fault map bigger or smaller than Monolith?
I'd say it's about the same, to be honest.
It's the exact same with a few aspects so far. We don't know what EA is gonna be like.
I like these questions.
I saw an important question for you, stranger.
I just gotta get good, bro. That's it.
Am I watching the PS5 reveal tomorrow? Yes.
Oh yeah.
What if Fault got announced tomorrow on PS5?
Don't even play with my heart, stranger.
Listen. What I said was at least somewhat plausible. When I said that, what if on full launch they just drop it on console tomorrow? Yeah, that's just not even in the realm of reality.
I thought you came on here to tell us that it's releasing tomorrow.
Final Fantasy Versus 13 got announced 10 years ago, and it only came out 4 years ago or something, or 2 years ago.
Give us one hint to something we don't know. Big Raptors. More to the Fault Jungle. More to the Fault Jungle than the Monolith Jungle. I'd say so.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's what they have planned. Maybe not currently, but that's the direction. That at least when Sylphan was talking about it in the last dev stream, he talked about that.
Wait, they plan on doing what, sorry?
Just to have more to the jungle. More buffs, more options.
Yeah, they're gonna try to change the jungle up somehow. Not entirely sure. No.
Boris ult is basically like a steel ult, but you target one guy and you'll deal more damage the less health that guy has.
You insta kill it like 25% or less.
Yeah, you execute if they're below a certain health threshold, but it's you don't typically notice it too much.
Yeah, listen, Boris is, from my understanding, if steel is SS tier, Boris is Z tier.
Triple S tier.
We knew about Big Raptors.
You gotta give us something else, Britik. Gotta give us something
Little
else.
Prime.
Give me a second to think about this.
Is Ular in EA?
No comment.
That's it. He just confirmed it.
What is Decker's passive? Don't know.
Well, items have different pictures, logos, and EA. Hopefully.
My goodness, hopefully.
It is planned. It is on the Trello, but if it'll be there when when EA first drops, we don't know.
Yep. How many? Okay, guys, we'll take like somewhere between 2 to 5
here we go.
questions.
I got here one hint to something we don't know. Esports. There you go.
That's big. That's really big.
Nice. Okay, so let's see. Are you sure Britik doesn't know?
There is a draft, yes. Who is the cutest sounding host guest? Me.
Cool.
Whoa.
Are they having chests to get skins? No. Not planned for the near future anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Strength of Final Towers versus Old Paragon.
You mean Legacy Paragon?
Yeah, I think it means Legacy Paragon. I'd say, man,
not quite as strong.
In tank meta, those towers did nothing too, because everyone.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, the numbers are just completely different. They're working with different math in general, like how everything scales and everything. So it's hard to do a comparison. But I would say that the towers in Fault are closer to Legacy than they were in Monolith.
Yeah, towers are good. Meeks, I'm guessing that ranked will come out late EA. I definitely want ranked by the time full launch occurs.
Ranked is really supposed to be Q3 or Q4 this year.
It's supposed to happen before full release, from my understanding.
Yeah, but at the end of EA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think do the Fault Towers have scaling damage?
They do.
Okay, good. Yeah,
do they?
They do. Yeah. They do. It hurts.
That's weird.
Will you carry me? Sure. If you're a subscriber and you're playing with me on Subscriber Sunday.
You gotta give him that Twitch Prime.
Yeah.
You'll do anything for that.
Bags. I will do a lot of things for Twitch Prime. This is true.
We won't get into specifics here. That's a little not PG.
Why do towers scale? Isn't it supposed to be like a tower isn't always a safe haven once you get to late game? Like, isn't that supposed to be a thing?
Oh God, you sound like Cameron. Jesus.
No. But like, well, it all depends on how much scaling they have.
The scaling doesn't completely deter a tank from tower diving mid to late game. But it's still like stays like
they scale, but you scale faster.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Because if they didn't scale with how heroes scale and become so much stronger, towers literally would be nothing. Minions would take care of them by themselves without like any push or anything.
What hero do you want?
Morgash or Yin?
The correct answer is Richter.
I'd say Morgash would spice some things up for sure.
I want Decker.
To towers come back after a while. No, not currently. Yeah, turrets still do damage late game is what Meek's trying to say. If you are tanky, you can sit under them for a while, especially if you have prime buff.
Meeks, you just tried to spam 22 messages.
That's it. Get him out of here.
No,
we don't want to see him anymore.
He put a link and it auto deleted the previous 22 messages he had because he put them on timeout.
Wow. Sorry, Meeks.
You get what you deserve.
Okay, guys. One final question for Britik. What do you want it to be? Whoever can say it.
Make it good.
Make it good.
What's your biggest fear, Britik?
Is that actually the last question? Are we gonna go with that?
Okay.
No.
While people are getting their questions ready, let me do the plug of the giveaway one more time. Hey guys, we're here with Fault Hub Network, guys. We have a giveaway going on for 2 Fault Master Packs when early access launches. We'll have a link in the chat. Go in so you can enter that giveaway to win those packs.
Speaking of giveaways, Britik, do you plan on doing Fault Key giveaways? Is that a possibility in the future?
Yes. I do a lot of giveaways. I'm willing to do all sorts of giveaways. And I'll answer some more questions. Balix, I do want a cast attorney for sure. You know where to reach me. You know my PayPal. What else?
But why does he know your PayPal?
If Paragon was still here today, what do you hope Epic would have made it into? I like that question. I really did see a lot of potential for Paragon. I did see league scaled potential. I really did see it breaking through the mold, becoming as big as what Fortnite is right now, becoming the next hot esports, and seeing those worldwide tournaments. I really did see that for sure. I saw a lot of potential, and if Paragon was still alive, if they never shut it down and they got their ish together 2 years later, I wouldn't be surprised if we would be seeing ranked and tournaments. I don't know if we'd be seeing franchising, probably not, but that would probably come down later along the line. But yeah, we definitely see it in esports.
Well, I'll give a tiny little leak about the Fault Hub Network thing, just a little tiny thing. If you don't win this giveaway, there will be more. So,
ooh,
that's it. So Britik, you got any last words? Everyone that's talking right now, do you have any last words that you'd like to say? Because we're getting to the end.
Let me plug last. Let's let other people go first.
Okay. Hey, what a flippy flop though. This is Stranger Big Moose. Thank you for everyone that tuned in. Thank you for everyone that followed. I love you guys. We're going to be doing this again next Wednesday. We got another special guest in the works. I can't confirm anything at this moment. That'll be awesome. Thank you to Britik. Please go follow him, BritikHD, on all his socials. He's a Chad.
I want to plug my BritikHD everywhere. YouTube videos coming out every week. Streams, we've been doing Paragon Town Hall streams that we've been really, really lit. We've been doing those on Fridays, so tune in a couple days from today, Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, as always. I want to just thank the Faultarian Journal, Fault Hub Network, everyone here who has invited me on here, and it's been fun. I really enjoyed the conversation today. Shout out to the community. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for supporting me. I hope we can do bigger and greater things together. Shout out all the testers. Shout out Meeks, Mike, Sockcap, Jacka. You already know Bay Boys 2020. You know who you are. And Balix for sure as well. Big Pug, Scun Tank looking ass. You know, can't do it without you. You put up some sick ass graphics. And yeah, thank you all so much for letting me be a quote unquote influential person in the community. I do really appreciate it. I do take it seriously. Thank you.
Yeah, and likewise, thank you guys for inviting me back. It's always a blast to be part of the community, and thank you, Britik, for bringing Fault into mine as well as many others' lives.
Stephen
Great
Shanley,
to have some hope again.
do you have anything you'd like to say?
Thanks for joining in, Britik. It was big. Really appreciate it. Thanks again, Norweginator, for coming back this week. And I guess just personal message from me: keep washing your hands, and if you're out on the streets for any reason, protect people around you.
Right? Wear those masks.
Yeah.
Awesome. And thank you guys for everything. I always end the stream with a final song. And it's usually always the same song, so I'm going to do that again. And thank you, everyone. And I'll see you next Wednesday.
Is that it? Recut?
Just come